What is up, dudes? And welcome to Disco Elysium. This is a game that I have gotten quite a substantial amount of requests for, to the point where Gypsy brought home a copy and went like, yeah, this is a game for you. You gotta play this. So here I am, succumbing to peer pressure and hopefully taking you all down with me. This is the final cut, and considering that my voice is still under recovery, I decided like that now might be like the perfect time to actually dive into this, since the final cut introduces voice acting to about 98-95% of the game. And oh god, we are in for a ride with this one. I've played a fraction of the opening sequence till we just got out of the apartment, and the way that the game presents itself is just right up my alley. So I got a cup of coffee with me, I got a notebook, and a pen so I can write stuff down. Did you survive getting out of the apartment? I did, actually. Not for nearly cutting my hand off on the ceiling fan, but... Oh man, I am excited for this. I'm not quite sure what to expect of this, as I have only seen like snippets and bits and pieces of it on 3Dog stream and on Dave's stream, and just kind of want to go along for the ride. It seems like something that I'd enjoy, so I reckon I just dive into. So shoutouts to Gypsy and Wexford for continually recommending this game. I'm very excited. And speaking of Wexford, thank you so much for gifting a sub to Mrs. Wexford. Really freaking appreciate the support, my dude. Can I get some Kevins and Riches in chat, please? And Gypsy, Loin, Carpe Diem, Wexford, how's it going? Loin, howdy partner. Adrian, how's it going? Hopefully everybody's doing well. And Mrs. Wexford as well. Let me actually get settled. There you go. I'm still getting used to the new monitor configuration, so I'm finding sleep to play Monster Hunter. That's the right way to play Monster Hunter. Oh man, Phonic just introduced me to the thumbnail that we're going to use for this. Speaking of thumbnails, also bless you, Gypsy. Speaking of thumbnails, me and Phonic have been working behind the scenes to create a VOD archive with edited down VODs for you all to enjoy, since the Twitch player is kind of shit. So everything will be kind of slowly drip fed into a separate channel, which will be going live, I think, tomorrow, if everything goes well, starting with the Live Live playthrough, so look forward to that. And hey Phonic, how's it going? Hey Joey, how's it going? So yeah, everything should be made readily accessible in a much more, well, accessible way sometime soon. Going quite alright, that's good to hear. Now let's get started. So I'm honestly, I'm not quite sure whether or not I am gonna be jumping into the create your own just yet. It might be a fun idea to try like an archetype first, since this is like a proprietary RPG system that originally, from what I read, the developers of Disco Elysium, or the creator of Disco Elysium's concept, initially worked on it in the form of a tabletop RPG, so this is basically a translation of that. Essentially making it somewhat of a like follow-up to how the original Baldur's Gate was like an extension of advanced D&D. strike me as a sensitive type. Is it because I cry during video games? So chat, are we going thinker, sensitive, or physical? We have 1 for sensitive so far. Extremely intelligent, very bad with people. That is me. Cannibal. We are certainly not thinkers. And that you cry during the Star Wars opening. Okay, I get a little excited, okay? Just a little bit. Don't have to put me on the spot like that. And Sakradash, how's it going, dude? I think sensitive, very psychological, a magnetic personality. I agree with the unstable part, not the magnetic. Hey, for freeze, how's it going? Let's see. The Furies are at home in the mirror. It is their address. Even the clearest water, if deep enough, can drown. You have a good Twitch channel that shows magnetism? I'd reckon it's more or less the polar opposite.
There is nothing. Only warm primordial blackness. You're conscious ferments in it. No larger than a single grain of malt. You don't have to do anything anymore. Ever.
How's the sound balance for y'all? Do I need to turn the game up a little bit?
Never, ever.
I really like this option. I really like this option. Simply keep non-existing.
An inordinate amount of time passes. It is utterly void of struggle. No ex-wives are contained within it.
Well, this is great.
Yes, it is.
Give me some more.
You got it, sweet brother. Nothing upon nothing upon nothing.
Who voices this? Can I look this up without spoiling myself? I'm really curious. There's just a gravity to that voice. It's beautiful. I like nothing. How about you cough up some more of that sweet oblivion?
Coming right up, sir. Smooth passage.
All on Z?
Alright. Nothing town to fuck all borough.
He reminds me a little bit about that one dude from The Crow. The one that keeps popping up when we least expect it. Like every time me and Gypsy watch a movie, every once in a while, one of those. He is in Nope as well. He's the nature documentary thing. I think I've seen him on not on Critical Role, maybe Dimension 20. Return trip to the silence, please. Let's visit the ancient Zero home. Look, there's I am tired of being this type of animal, and who gives a shit?
Do you want me to upgrade that to a one-way trip, sir? The song of death is sweet and endless. But what is this? Somewhere in the soul, bloated man meet around you. A sensation. Like a fly to the ointment, your conscience sticks to it. The limbed and headed machine of pain and undignified suffering is firing up again.
You can take it.
Oops.
You're a champion.
Mother help me, there's a head. Mother help me, there's a head attached to my neck and I am in it.
The stench of liquor rises from your mouth, and with it, an ungodly headache.
Help someone cut my head off, it's trying to murder the rest of me.
A fiery streak penetrates your skull, trying to force your eyes open. It's a sound, a clarion call from hell.
Oh, I like that. That is a powerful backdrop. Like, you know how in how a lot of the anxiety from Silent Hill 3 is kind of derived from the from like the sort of industrial audioscape, this sort of really rusty and grimy machinery noise that sort of permeates throughout the game. That man has no clothes on. He has a pair of underpants. And socks. You see bottles in the bathtub, wine, beer, and sweet liqueurs. Hey, Angel Rain, how's it going?
A mirror hangs above a bent and broken sink. In a fierce discharge of masculine energy, someone has ripped half the faucet off. Hot water sprays from the base, and steam covers the mirror. You cannot see yourself, just the outline of a man. Suddenly, you realize you have no memory of the face that awaits you there, underneath the soft vapor.
Really? Nothing? Wipe the mirror? No way, I'm not doing this. Wait, you can remain faceless. But if you ever have trouble with wording in this game, it has a feature to switch to a secondary language on the fly. Really good feature for such a text-heavy game. In what kind of sense? Like, that it uses a sort of, that it essentially doubles as a retranslation without the thesaurus speech? Let's see.
Really, all recollection of the person you are, the people in your life, and even the world you're in has drowned in
switching
a sea
between
of blood
languages like
alcohol.
German and English.
This was no mere night of drinking. It was a deluge of world-ending proportions. As you slowly reach your hand towards the surface of the mirror. Abort. You clearly have not thought this through. You won't like what you see there, and you will never unbecome it.
Maybe I should touch it first, make sure there's nothing wrong with my face?
Yeah, there is definitely something wrong with it. Where to
How
even
bad could it
begin?
be?
There is the bloatedness, then the swollenness. It's like there's an upholstery of alcohol underneath your skin.
I'm sure everything is fine. At least my tongue is okay. I'm scared. I want to stop doing this.
It's not. Your nose feels like a small balloon in the middle of your face. It hurts when you honk it. It doesn't appear to be a particularly tiny nose either. Not with all the drinks it's absorbed for you. It's not. It's swollen and snail-like, wriggling between your fingers. Don't be scared. It's only your face. It's not like anyone's going to see it. Behold.
Okay, I'm scared.
You have no idea who this thing is, do you?
Dear Lord, help me. What is this?
Whatever it is, at least it's dead now. There's clearly rigor mortis on your face. Oh wait, is that an expression? Are you trying to make an expression with that face?
I'm not making it. The face itself is making it itself. I have no idea why it's there. It just is.
Please stop. It's horrible. You're scaring yourself. You
No.
can't, can you? It's like it's not even voluntary anymore. You have worn that grin into your face, and now it won't come off. What does it even mean? What is the emotion you're trying to convey?
My God, I don't know. It's indescribable. I think it's supposed to look suggestive. I'm afraid it's meant for the ladies. I'm insinuating that I'm vaguely sympathetic. I think I'm sort of pulling it off too. In a sad has-been kind of way. There is some charm to it. It's an expression of pain.
You are correct.
Well, thank you. Okay, always loses, always wins. Dig deep into your mind to locate the source of the expression.
Like the rest of you, it comes from a bad place somewhere in the past. That's all you know for now.
Okay, so I have different skills to utilize. Hang on. Character sheet. Okay. This is going to be a lot of information. Your power to influence yourself and others. Intellect is where encyclopedia comes in, logic comes in, rhetoric, practice art of persuasion, enjoy rigorous intellectual discourse. Drama, play the actor, lie and detect lies, conceptualization. Oh, that's going to be interesting. We're not going to be able to figure out at all whether or not somebody is telling the truth or not. Let's see. Hold yourself together, keep your morale up. What does that entail? Cool for sane people, well-adjusted cops, and non-suicidal. Volition urges you to be a good guy to others and to yourself. It enables you to resist temptation, be it in a bottle, between a pair of legs, or at the end of an iron barrel, which promises oblivion. Volition gives you the will to finish the investigation, improving your morale. One of the 2 health pools in the game. Okay, so you have morale and like physical health. Since you've delved into so many tabletop RPGs, I think you'll manage just fine. I think once I figure out how the dice rolls are calculated, it will definitely open up the game a little bit. And then he's gonna start a Disco Elysium campaign once he's done with the game. But you can. But I don't want to. Speaking of tabletop RPGs, Acquisitions Incorporated teased that they were doing a Mouse Guard episode or a Mouse Guard show, and then we went up looking what the cost would be for Mouse Guard, and it was so much on sale that I instantaneously embraced the weakness. And now we have a full set of Mouse Guard. You can play a bunch of mice with sticks. At high levels, volition makes you hyper sane. When you're about to get funky, it keeps you normal. It's a bit of a party pooper. At low levels, however, you'll have little morale. Without it, you'll be a profoundly unstable cop, falling apart at the seams as you make irreversible mistakes. Okay, so this is basically your sanity. Hunches and gut feelings, dreams and waking life. I really like the that it goes to work your mirror neurons. Man, that art is something else. I really, really appreciate how outlandish it is. Wield raw intellectual power to reduce the... Okay, so... Your psyche increases the... Oh... Huh. Is there like an in-game? Let's see. Is there like an in-game manual? Oh, we haven't unlocked that yet. And I'm really just vibing to the art. Okay, so you have a base pool of 12. That's what I'm getting at. This is a 2d6 system, from what I'm gathering. Double sixes always wins, double snake eye always loses. Or snake eyes always loses. It's essentially the difference between a natural 20 and a natural 1. Then I reckon that any roll is kind of derived off of these 4 stats, which you can improve with specialized features that are essentially kind of derived from the base class. This determines the level that you can take in that. So here I have... Wait, that isn't right. Because I have 6 levels in Inland Empire. Or one of the 6 levels in Inland Empire, putting that to a 6. So is this kind of like a general stat? Let's see. The threatened people, so there's intimidation. Cool for city lovers, the wisest of the streetwise, the genuinely supernatural. Yeah, it's not an official system. It started out as a tabletop RPG and quickly became a video game after that. Shivers come when the temperature drops and you become more keenly aware of your surroundings. It enables you to hear the city itself, to truly belong to the street. It is a supernatural ability. Old wrongs play out in present time, scenes across the city happen in front of you, but who is speaking to you? At high levels, shivers make you seem mad to the outside world. As you listen to the city, you don't listen to others. Your superiors may begin to worry. With the low shivers, though, you will seldom hear the city speaking to you, and if you cannot hear it, how can you ever save it? Okay, so fine motor skills, this is like physical, this is mental, and this is intellectual. Okay, so gotcha. Let's put on a shirt. Can we just leave like this? Ah, okay. Luckily, it's not based on D&D. That would be a nightmare now. Disco ass blazer.
This fan has 2 chain pull switches. One ends in a tiny fan, the other in a light bulb. A truly horrific necktie has somehow attached itself to one of the blades. Or has it been consigned there as punishment? You feel as though this creature is your friend and wants to reattach itself to your neck so that you may continue your adventures together in this strange world.
Oh, okay, so... Okay, I'll have to figure out how that works with the with these different skills, but the general gist that I'm getting is that this would be a medium difficulty because I can get a 14.
You reach out to grab the tie, but what's this? Diffuse, radiating chest pain. Doom comes over you. This is bad. Feels like sharp stones grinding in your chest and keeping you from moving for quite a long time, still ongoing. Now is a good time to start worrying. Finally, the pressure recedes. You find yourself covered in cold sweat and trying not to move, hoping it will keep you from dying. The blades come squeaking to a halt. It should be easier to reach the tie now. You swoop up and catch the tie. Snap. It's released from the blade. Warning, warning, the necktie is no longer contained. What you have in your hand is a fantastically colorful tie with 4 or 5 different patterns. The knot reminds you of a noose.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have acquired pants. Wait, where are the shoes in this equation?
The window stands broken in its frame. Cold wind blows in.
Visual calculus is... Wait, that's only a +1, right? Let's look out
The morning
first.
light hurts your eyes. It's hazy, but you see the ocean and some war-torn buildings. What do you mean, assess the damage? How would you do that? The morning light hurts your eyes. It's hazy, but you see the ocean and some war-torn buildings.
Put skill points into visual calculus to open this up. Okay, so each successful check leaves you with... Oh wait, it's on the... How do you call that? Code rack? This reel-to-reel tape player is still on, rolling empty.
You hear a jingle. Keys are clinking in the pocket of your flare-cut pants. It says, whirling in rags, on the aluminium keyring. There is a single key on the ring. The number 1 is etched on it. It should open the door.
Looked like someone tore out the tape while the song was playing. I think I have acquired shoes. Can I... Let's save. I feel like it's, like, I've been warned a couple of times that saving is very important in this game. That you really want to keep track of, saving on multiple slots as well. And hey Steve, how's it going? There's something on the table. That something is not...
Hello, officer.
Hello. The year is 51.
The young woman raises a cigarette to her lips.
Officer, am I military personnel?
No.
Oh, this is fucking me up. That is a hella Dutch name.
There's only one solution to this. You're a businessman.
Wait, I know I'm a businessman, chief executive
The
officer,
young woman
right?
shakes her head slowly.
No. You're a police officer, sir.
You're shitting me.
I'm not. Unless you've been shitting us all this time. You've
All
been
this
here
time?
for 3 days. On official police business, no less. Couldn't say. In truth, so far, mostly drinking. Could it be because of the drinking?
Who in their right mind would let me be an officer of
Don't
the
be
law?
so harsh on yourself. They let almost anyone be a police officer.
A glib remark. Don't let it stand. Assert yourself.
Actually, I can see why they wouldn't trust me with the law. I have the right character.
A fondness for contradictory statements.
Yes, what you just said. I can't come up with anything.
I'm sorry. I was being glib. I'm sure you're a great cop.
No, she's not. Reassert yourself by being flirtatious.
I feel like this DM is railroading me in a specific direction right now.
Try the expression. Come on, why are you still doing this?
Wait, did I get a success on that? I'm a Death Store, bloated, a goner, and still...
Alcohol raises testosterone levels, especially in men. The levels remain elevated after inebriation ends and the pain begins. You seek comfort. It's only natural.
She puts out her cigarette. She looks back at you, a light glinting off her eyes.
And now, it never stops. Goodbye.
The first time I got an option that says, would you like to do the fuck with me? And I just could not stop giggling. Hey, Sailor Peter, how's it going? Okay, so I like the environmental design, like the almost painted. No, it's an actual dialogue option that happened when I was testing the game. And yeah, true. If I drink any form of alcohol, I just fall asleep. This is where the lyrics would be. Oh, we're gonna do some karaoke. Hey, Nova Odin. Speakers connected to the radio. The music is seasoned with static.
You should totally sing karaoke here, the first chance you get. Your emotions need to be expressed. People need to know your vast, oceanic soul.
My soul's cubic content is obscured by the hangover.
Of course, at this point, precise measurements of your soul can only be performed from the outside.
Oh no.
It needs to be heard through a PA system by other people.
Yes.
Whether they like it or not, ram it up their ears, says your adrenaline gland. Violently express yourself.
Ah.
A man in his late 20s stands behind the counter, inspecting a stuffed seabird. As you approach, he gives you a sideways glance, then looks down again. That was disdain in his eyes. Even now he's purposely ignoring you.
Okay, so I don't get any experience from succeeded checks. Look at the stuffed
A
bird.
competent work of taxidermy. The white and brown seabird lies among piles of coasters and drying mugs. One of its wings broken. The man is trying to mend it. Looks like the bird was ripped off the shield that was used to mount it, most likely on a wall.
I think the game could have used like a radial with a pointer Like maybe just a simple line, like a circle and a line that traces where your cursor is at that time.
Something about it makes you feel bitter.
Look,
What happened to the
your
bird?
buddy is over there.
He looks at the doors where a man in a bomber jacket is tapping
Why
his
don't you go
foot in
and
the
talk
floor.
to him, okay?
I'm a cop, and I talk to whomever
He
I
pretends
please.
not to hear you, concentrating on the bird instead.
Oh no, you're a hero. A real hero cop. Am I? Or did you ride in, take the body down, solve the murder, and not trash my hostel room?
I'm guessing I didn't do any of those things.
You're right, you didn't, and it's only taken you 3 days not to.
Like, just simply, you don't really have to have, like, a floating cursor, right? You don't have to have, like, a mouse pointer for that. Like, just have a little radial pop-up. Like, just a simple, like, line. A circle drawn around the character, and then just a line that's juxtaposed on that kind of follows the direction of your right analog stick. That way it's much easier to kind of cycle through like the objects and maybe have like a quick select if you're close enough. What have I been doing all the time? Have you seen me
No, I
around?
haven't seen you around. I'm not always here. No, I'm not the bartender. I'm the cafeteria manager.
What's the
I have
difference?
3 cafeterias to manage. 3. Sylvie tends the bar here, not me. I'm only standing in.
Where did the
She
Sylvie
just,
go?
You know,
There's something there, and it's not good. That's all you know for now.
Ooh. I am playing a Unity game on console. This is a water cooler. A large bubble is rising to the surface. What does it mean when a... Oh, there. The soft purr of an electric juicer comes from the kitchen. Someone is working. Okay, let's check out the kitchen. The door is bolted. Sign reads, kitchen reserved for personnel until 13. Union members, doors open. I'm gonna write this down. I don't know if it's any use, but... The voice actor choices and directions are incredibly good. Yeah, so far it's fantastic.
Hello, sweetie.
Lena, the cryptozoologist's wife.
You shouldn't keep your colleague waiting.
This royal pinball machine is unplugged.
A bespectacled man in an orange bomber jacket is tapping his foot on the floor. Looks like he's waiting for someone. As you approach, he narrows his eyes and extends his hand in greeting. If an assault were launched on this building right now, if the windows came crashing down and the whole world descended upon you, this man would hurl himself in death's way to save you. You are sure of this, but why? He is your half-brother.
I shake his hand.
I'm Kim Kitsuragi, Lieutenant, Precinct 57. You must be from the 41st.
You realize he's waiting for your name. This is your chance to come up with a really good name for yourself. Get creative. Conceptualize.
Want to try it?
Concentration makes you squint your eyes. Your name should be deep gold and orange, like a forest fire looming on the horizon, but mixed with the
That's a
stench
colorful
of liquor
metaphor.
rising from your breath. You're 2 steps closer to it, but there are still many to go.
Okay, then. It looks like we had a little scheduling error on Sunday. Saturday too, actually. Have you had time to talk to the manager here?
I think he means
If you don't
cafeteria
mind, we should
manager.
talk to him again. Ask him for a rundown of the area. Now that I'm here as well. I understand the scene is out back, right? It also wouldn't hurt to assure him the police are finally here. In full force, I mean. Have you mapped out the initial interviews?
Yes, the police. I'm aware. I'm aware I'm a policeman.
Right. And the interviews?
Taps his foot more out of habit than impatience. What
At the
interviews?
57th, we like to prepare an initial list of persons of interest, and then just skim the surface. Prepare the field, get to know the players. You don't do that? Maybe it's not an inter-district practice.
Hey, Field, how's it going, dude? Can I get a shout out for the field team leader? If y'all want some excellent monster hunting, please do go check out the field team leader. Also, Field, are you planning to do the other Persona releases, like P4 Golden and P3 Portable? I haven't,
Okay,
honestly.
we'll have time for that after we take a look at the coroner's case.
That's fair.
Have you removed the dead body from the tree?
I don't like dead bodies. Look, man, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I am honestly not sure what this man is talking about, but...
So, the body is still in the tree.
This is the first time you detect a weariness in the lieutenant's voice. It is obvious he would have preferred for the body to no longer be in the tree.
Where it has been hanging for 7 days straight. We should go there as soon as we are done talking to the owner.
What if I told you I'm not really a police officer? How can you be so sure I'm from the police? But I can't remember anything. Let's try this one
I was
first.
sent here to meet a detective from Precinct 41. You have the insignia of the Citizens Militia on your sleeve and on your back. I suppose you could be impersonating him. You could have gotten the insignia from the black market or forged it. But for now, I'm going to set those possibilities aside. I'm not from the Inspectorate General.
You said insignia, these white rectangles, you mean?
Yes,
But they're just white rectangles.
they are not just white rectangles. They bear a halogen watermark with the letters RCM and a pattern resembling the street grid of Revachol West. I would ask you to step into the headlights of my motor carriage, but again, it's none of my concern. I just need you to do your job.
But shouldn't I have a badge or something?
You mean you don't have a badge?
It was not on me when I woke up.
Losing your identification card is a serious matter. My vehicle has a shortwave. You can use it to report your badge missing. I would advise you to locate it as quickly as possible. But getting the body down should still take precedence.
What were
Talk
we
to the
supposed to do
manager.
again?
Then we go out back and take the body down. After you, officer.
Okay.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi is now in your party. You can talk to him whenever by interacting with him.
Okay. So he's just walking
Yes.
along now. Let's interview him a little bit about the case. Get to lay down some groundwork first. Like, with the way that this game is introducing it, like, it feels like it might be a good idea to get some information before we get started.
What do you want to know?
Literally anything about it. I can't remember a single thing.
Maybe you can tell me what you do know to help me narrow it down a bit.
know literally nothing about it, only what you told
Do you
me
want
before.
me to brief you?
Brief, yes, that sounds good.
3 days ago, the RCM Emergencies Desk received a report about a security guard who was found hanged in Martinez. An anonymous caller said there was a dead body behind the Whirling in Rags hostel cafeteria. The cadaver had been there for 4 days. No one had come to investigate. During that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. The caller did not identify him, but used the word lynching. There is an ongoing labor dispute between the local dock workers and the logistics company Wild Pines. I was told we should approach the death as part of this dispute.
Wait, does the briefing say who the
A
victim
security
was?
guard or worker of some sort, hired by Wild Pines. This was just hearsay from Martinez, of course. We need to find out the truth. To find him or her is one of our tasks here. For now, all we know is that the tone was muffled, using a device of some sort. The desk could identify neither the caller's age nor sex. There's a strong prejudice against involving the RCM in what's seen as union matters. The dock workers' union is the de facto police in Martinez. Now it appears they've started executing too. We cannot allow that.
Hold on, and the RCM is,
That's us, the Revachol Citizens Militia.
Oh, right.
We're the police in this city.
Okay, so we're dealing with... Yeah, okay. So this is like small town self-policing, essentially. Of course, yes, I understand. Job is to find the killer.
That's right.
Ooh. Would you say this is a mysterious
No,
case?
It's not a particularly mysterious case.
Why
The
not?
deceased is a security guard for a corporation involved in a labor dispute. It doesn't take a DeLorean polymath to put the pieces together. I just don't see the case getting more mysterious than that.
I was thinking something otherworldly might be involved, you know, something supernatural. Let's see. Could it be sexy?
There was some interest in this case at my station, but not for the reasons you have in mind. You seem to wish there was a...
Cut this boring stuff off immediately. You know what this case is about.
Yes, it just so happens there's a beautiful, blonde 19-year-old woman at the heart of this case. A rich one, in fact, part of a murder sex cult.
That's
No,
mega sexy.
not really. Was there anything else?
He's basically challenging you to sex it up with some lurid twist. Don't get right into it. Sit on it a bit. Then hit him with it.
If we were from different precincts, why are we on the
I'm
same
afraid
case?
you and I are pawns in a pissing competition.
His disdain is clear. This man would not use such an expression otherwise.
You
What do you
don't
mean?
know? I assumed you were in on it.
You know what I'm in on? Retrograde amnesia.
Better still than an imbecilic cop-off. It's just stupidity. We shouldn't waste any more time on it. If you
Wait.
want my take, ask me after we've inspected the victim.
Let's see. Apparently there was a pissing match between Precinct 41 yours and Precinct 57. Ask him about his, this after the initial inspection of the dead body is done. Need to report your badge to the 41st Precinct as soon as possible. The lieutenant said that you can use the radio in his motor car to call your station.
Was there anything else you wanted to know about the case? Good.
Convince Kim there's a sexy, dark mystery twist to the
What
case.
do you want to know? You mean like a brief? Do you want me to... 3 days ago, during that time, the victim had been stripped of his belongings. Okay then. Was there anything else you wanted to know? Good.
Let's try it.
What if you did it?
Did what? The hangman?
Yes, you killed him. And then, as part of the plan, you drowned out the memory.
Wait, so my inner voice is telling me to concoct a false lead using myself as the primary suspect.
Maybe this is why your chest feels so hollow. You did an awful thing. And you
Now
can't
it's
even
trying
bring
to
yourself
guilt-trip me.
acknowledge it.
Oh no.
Are you sure you would have the strength to take down a hardened mercenary? You're not in the best shape.
This is your burden to bear?
The man with the unimpressive beard notices you approaching. He drops the ledger he was holding and turns to the lieutenant.
Mr. Guard, right? You run this place.
Yes.
I am Kim Kitsuragi from Precinct 57. This is an inter-district investigation, so joining me from Precinct 41...
Looks to you, realizing he doesn't have your full the harbinger of ruin. What is gold and orange like a forest fire but smells like liquor? I'm currently in between names. I'm gonna use the colorful metaphor.
Are you kidding me?
Oh man, help me out. What is gold and orange and smells like liquor?
It's you. It's obviously you. You smell like liquor. And you're orange.
See? Everyone agrees it's your color scheme. We're on the right track with this name thing.
This game has a very devil on the shoulder kind of vibe to it, and I'm really into it.
Is this what you get when you call the police now? We've been waiting for a week here.
Hey, Smokey, how's it going?
Sir, I understand your concern, but we are here to do a job. And for us to do it, I need you to stay calm.
Yes, of course.
For a moment, the cafeteria manager fidgets under the lieutenant's gaze. Then he gives in.
I know it took us a while to arrive at the scene, but it also took you a while to call us. It was you who placed the call, correct?
No, I only just got here. It was probably Sylvie who called you. She usually works the bar here. I'm only temporarily taking over her duties.
But why use, like, something to muffle your voice? Oops. It was literally just the controller sliding off of the notepad.
Do you have her number?
As a matter of fact, I do.
You said you just got here. From where? Are you a local?
What, of Martinez? No, I live in Jamrock. I only sometimes come here to keep an eye on the place. This is just one of the many, many cafeterias I manage.
But you still know your way around, yes? In case we need directions.
Yes, I know where some things are, but as I said, I don't live here. I just used to work here. And I'm not going to start working here again, if that's what you think.
I didn't imply that. Detective. I have everything. You?
Oh, you mean, do I have questions?
Yes. He means, do you have questions for me, like a police officer would?
Where exactly
Behind
is the
this
body?
building, there's a courtyard. They hoisted him up on a tree there.
And how do we get there
That's
then?
easy. See that door there? First you exit through that. Then, to your right, you should see a big hole in the fence. A really big one. You can get to the courtyard through there. No need for the keys. The hole is big enough for the Franco-Nigerian cavalry to fit through.
Does he want you to feel guilty of making that hole? It's implied in his voice.
I don't know who killed him. I'm not the police. That's your job.
Did you
What are
kill
you,
him?
crazy? Of course I didn't kill him.
I'm just gonna ask everybody if they're the murderer. Somebody's gonna
Suddenly,
cave
you tense up.
sometimes.
Blood is being pushed to your muscles. You should hound him on this. Hound him hard. The prey drive says.
Did you kill him, Guard?
No, I didn't.
You can tell me, Guard. You killed him, right?
I didn't. I don't appreciate this. What is this?
Why did you have to kill
Do I have to answer him? Is this mandatory?
This game's sense of humor is right up my alley.
The lieutenant stands motionless, his expression unreadable.
Did he hurt you? Is that why? Did you get some kind of side kick out of killing him?
What are you, an idiot? I told you I haven't killed anyone.
Anyone? Have you killed someone else then?
He ignores you.
She went away because none of your business.
This is the second time you avoided
Oh
the
my
subject.
God, what is your obsession with this Sylvie person? Get over it.
It sounds like something a murderer would say
Maybe it's
exactly.
he who's obsessed with this Sylvie person. Certainly sounds like it.
Let's go.
Not so fast. You owe me 130 real.
No one is saying the multi-pattern necktie you found tied to the ceiling fan can talk. No one. It must be merely imagination. But
Let's bail! Time to push the eject button! Sounds like a responsibility! You don't like those!
I was ready to be all serious, gritty detective. And now my necktie is French.
no, don't listen to him. It's madness. Just talk.
Oh, excuse me. You owe me 130 real.
The IIR, or Inter-Isolary Real, is the global reserve currency. Whatever part of the world you're in right now, it's safe to assume he means you owe him some money.
Oh, I understand. You mean I owe you some money?
You're a genius. Yes, that's right. Money. You owe this establishment 130 real.
Who does that clown think he is? Arrest him!
Did I just hear my tie speak to me twice?
No one is saying that! No one is saying that Ty can talk! That would be ludicrous! It's just that you should arrest him! It would be wiser! He wants to take your money!
Why is my tie yelling at me? Great advice, I'm considering it.
The lieutenant looks at you tugging on your garish tie. He puts his hand on your shoulder.
If you don't have the money, it's okay. None of us are in this for the wages.
That's cop 4. I haven't offered to pay because I don't have any money either.
But what exactly is this money? You're under arrest.
Let's see. 3 nights at a tariff of 20 real comes to 60 real. Then there's the window you annihilated. The hole in the window was the first thing I saw when I came to work. So don't try to tell me you didn't. That will be 40 real in damages. Another thing you've annihilated is half the bar. You've run a tab of 30 real. Actually more, but we'll round it down to 30 for your hard work maintaining the stability and order of Revachol. That's 60 plus 40 plus 30 equals 130 real. And yes, real is still money. What are you, a philosopher?
Actually, I'm Mike. Since I woke up, I have trouble remembering even the most basic concepts of reality.
Money is what grown-up people use to pay for things. Things like this hostel room, or 8 bottles of potent blend, and 9 packs of Royal Extra. We use it for everything, really.
But what if I don't have any?
There's a shuffle of nylon as Lieutenant Kitsuragi looks for something in the pockets of his orange bomber.
I'm sorry, but he has to pay. I can't let him stay here any longer if he doesn't. If he doesn't have the money by tonight, then...
Officer, Maybe you are better off working this from home for now. You live in Jamrock, right? It's not that far away.
Isn't there somewhere else I can stay around here? Don't have a home. I don't remember. Fuck this place. I'll take my chance on the streets.
Officer, you really need to take this up with your station. I have a shortwave radio in my car. Call them. Ask for assistance. We have to get this investigation started now.
Good luck.
By the way, where is home? The address is coming up blank, and this place sure isn't it. But you've been at this hostel cafeteria for only 3 nights. Where were you before? You had to be somewhere.
Up on
Why
Marvel
did you
Hill.
say that?
These are just synapses firing. It doesn't mean anything. They must have some meaning to me.
No. But isn't that an expression, not a place?
An expression?
Up on Marvel Hill, a great high place. One that is impossible to climb back to.
That doesn't sound like somewhere you can stay if you run out of money.
Could I trace the way back somehow to exact street and exact number of on a building?
You can try. Run some addresses in your head when you get the time. Maybe a street or an apartment will appear.
And this is actually really engaging. It's kind of surprising to me how well the absurdity kind of flows within the narrative, as well as just the general vibes being really, really nice. Wait, is that the automobile? I might be able to shortwave this.
Before you stands a motor carriage. The bodywork is covered in blue and white livery, bearing the number 57. Vapor emanates from the large engine on the back of the vehicle. It hasn't had time to cool off yet. In the cabin, you are welcomed by a set of steering levers, a radio microphone on a hook, a pull-out toolbox under the seat, and the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
What is this machine?
This is the Kinema, my motor carriage. You can use the toolbox and the radio if you'd like.
Motor carriage. Something bad with a motor carriage. A dark lump rises in your throat.
I'm just gonna turn into that annoying philosophy major that is trying to tell you he's a philosophy major without telling you he's a philosophy major.
Nothing. It's probably nothing. Forget I brought it up. Please proceed with the carefree lollygagging.
I feel like this is going to be such a massive wave of misdirection from the narrator, but it's also at the same time trying to pick out like little hints and bits and pieces of information that you could actually use.
In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers, a radio on a hook.
Hey, breakfast sampler, how's it going?
And the soft glow of the fuel preheater gauge.
Hey Rico, how's it going? So far, I am really having a great time with it. It's kind of hard to describe because or to like fully expand on that a little bit more because we're like so short into it, but the dialogue has me completely hooked.
The frequency tableau lights up, and the green button labeled Prime Line glows like a feline eye. And then you hear something. The soft purr of electrical kittens, radio waves cast far and wide over the metropolis. A woman's voice greets you through the static.
This is Precinct 57. Hello, Lieutenant. How may I assist you?
Hello, Alice. Please assist our colleague from the 41st Precinct here. I'm putting him on.
This is Officer Alice Demetri, Precinct 57. How may I assist you?
Let's start with the badge.
Just a second, officer.
She puts you on hold with the static crackling softly like a bonfire. I really like the descriptors for this.
10-2, 10-5. This is 41st. Come in. Over.
A scrawny old man sits in a dusty cubicle, smoking, with a large white rectangle sewn on his vest. In front of him is a box-shaped apparatus with an array of wires.
Bless you, Gypsy. Are you alright?
A radio switchboard.
It just came from a streamer playing Fire Emblem Engage. Let me just say that I'm going to stick with Fire Emblem Three Houses. So, okay. So I have a question for the people that have tried Fire Emblem Engage. As someone who enjoyed Awakening and enjoyed Echoes and enjoyed Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn, but did not like Three Houses at all, would I enjoy Fire Emblem Colgate Edition?
What's your status? Over.
It's not good.
10-20. Over.
Please just talk human to me. These numbers mean nothing to me.
Take your message, sir. Over.
I'm in dire need of financial assistance. This might sound odd, but there's personal details I'd like to discuss. Oh, that's interesting. That's an interesting hook. Hey, Okiketsu, how's it going? Died in a tutorial mission. I underflowed the game's damage values on the enemy side, and everybody cripped me for like maximum damage values in the tutorial mission. Ever seen someone go like, if you go here, you can attack an enemy, and the enemy just immediately evaporates the character from existence? I swear, like, me and Fire Emblem games are cursed.
10-9, repeat message, over.
My badge, I can't find it anywhere. Basically, it's
10-4,
gone.
message received. This is a very serious situation. I need to 10-22 the captain, over.
10-22, the captain. This sounds bad. Bad and scary. Like being called to the headmaster's office in...
Is it him? What does he want?
Says he lost his badge and needs to report it.
He what? He lost his badge?
This is Communication Officer Jules Pidieux, sir. Over.
No, the other one.
Your partner? Over.
What is he saying?
He's asking who you are.
I'm his goddamn partner.
It's your partner, Satellite Officer Vitmar, sir. Over.
Did he lose his memory along with his fucking badge? Who lost his badge?
Like, everybody in the department is just jumping in on this.
Dick fucking Mullen. Who do you think?
It's Officer Dick Mullen from the bestseller Dick Mullen and the Lost Identity.
Dick Mullen is not your name. It's the name of a fictional detective who would not lose his badge.
I feel like my inner voice is blaming me for the badges I've lost along the way.
Defend yourself. Immediately. They're laughing at you.
I want to get it reported and be done with it. Officer has lost his badge. Like him, the first cop to ever misplace his badge.
He says this has probably happened to other policemen before him and laughs sarcastically.
Thank you for reiterating my message.
Oh, goddamn it. Is he fucking kidding? The whole station's gonna be dicked for this.
Satellite Officer Vikmar is wondering if you might be joking and adds that this tarnishes the reputation of the entire station. Over.
Mullen dicked us.
Can we just move on? I want to get it reported and be done with it.
10-4, I hear you, officer. I'm just going to make a note here that you are in pursuit of your misplaced badge. Over.
Wait, why is there... Wait. Whoa, What is this? Let's rewind. Let's trace your drunken steps back home. Jump across the raised channel, bridge southwest of here, fall over, get up, get off the asphalt in 20 minutes. Shuffle your feet through courtyards scaring little children, go under the great raised motor tract, the 881, until you reach Le Domaine Eminent in North Jamrock. The streets are frozen this time of year, caked with ice. Walk down Main to Perdition. There's a side alley there, and your footprints in the mud. Wait. Oh, I can't save in the middle of conversation.
Mac, come here. You've got to hear this. Dick Mullen lost his badge.
What's going on?
Super Cop here lost his badge.
He lost his what now?
His badge.
He lost his goddamn fucking badge.
Enough with this now. I have other things to discuss.
Come again. I didn't get that. Over.
New heights even for Captain Sober.
Ask him. Ask him if he's lost his gun too.
Sergeant Orson wants to know if you lost your gun too.
Check your pockets. Check your... Holy fuck. You don't know where it is, do you?
I don't have my gun?
Okay, it's gone. Your gun is most definitely gone.
Hey Zozo, how's it going? Portrait of Jules makes me think of the radio lady in Atlantis. Like the movie Atlantis?
Don't sweat it, Bratan! You don't need a gun to have fun! We can still have fun! It's not all over!
10-9, come in, officer. Did you get my question? We were wondering about your gun. 10-1, you're breaking up. 10-9, repeat, please. 10-9, come in, officer. Over.
Remain silent with terror.
Come in, officer. 10-9, repeat message, please. Did you misplace your firearm? Over.
That's affirmative.
He says he doesn't have it.
What's interesting is I'm currently playing OG FF7 on PC with mods to enhance graphics, and the backgrounds are AI upscaled. The artwork now reminds me of the artwork of this game. There was a dedicated upscale tool for the backgrounds in Final Fantasy IX, if I'm not mistaken. And it made the game look stunning. Like, the backgrounds on the PC version are just incredible to look at.
Dear God, he lost his gun? Oh my, I can't.
This isn't really a laughing matter.
The Moguri mod, yeah, that's it.
Mac can face a giant of cocoa noodle by himself, but Disco here made him piss his pants.
Oh, I can't. Fuck. He lost his... Ask him if he still got his wiener.
I'm not going to.
Ask him.
Sergeant Orson here is wondering if you are still in possession of your genitalia.
There better be an option to check.
Now is a good time to say fuck and ass and so on. That'll make this all right.
Left it at his mama's after I fucked her ass all night. Tell him that.
That's a negative. Not going to say that. Over.
Aww.
What's he saying? Share with the class.
He said he sodomized your mother.
The prick ate Mama's vanilla waffles at the captain's birthday party. Some nerve he's got.
Sure her vanilla waffles were the only thing he ate?
That was smooth. That was a fast reaction.
Shut up, Chester. This isn't funny. This is my mom we're talking about. Tell him to apologize right now.
Sergeant Orson requests that you apologize for the claims you made about his mother. Over.
Maybe don't fuck with the Firewalker.
He says you shouldn't have antagonized the Firewalker in the first place.
Who?
Satellite Officer V. I'm afraid he might be referring to himself as Firewater, sir.
Firewater? He's lost it. Fuck it. Tell him to find his goddamn badge and gun. That's the only thing that
Satellite officer
I heard him and I'm on it.
10-4, affirmative. Officer is in pursuit of his firearm.
Oh, God,
Officer, do you need further assistance?
I'm in dire need of
10-4,
financial
I hear
assistance.
you. I don't have the authority to grant your request, but...
What does he want now?
He's asking for money.
Is he fucking kidding?
I don't think he is.
I really like that so far the most entertaining aspect of this game has been a goddamn radio call.
Don't give that asshole anything. He's just gonna drink it all.
Alright, that's a negative on the additional funds, sir. Over.
It is paramount in the investigation that you grant me more money. Please, I'm begging you here. I don't even have a place to sleep tonight.
He says he's in trouble. Doesn't have a place to sleep.
Well, I guess he'd better crack the case before sundown then.
Vicmar said...
Who cares what this Vicmar said? Pull on their heartstrings. Enough, officer. This begging is below your dignity.
He says it's important to the case.
He isn't getting a red cent. You can tell him that.
Request denied, sir. Over.
Nothing is working.
He said, it's okay. You can do it, sir. Over.
What is he saying?
Did you want anything else, sir? Many of your colleagues are also here. Over.
You really need to get your shit together. This is nearing a complete meltdown.
No, I'm alright, I had other things.
Rest them now, sir. Over. Okay, 10-4, sir. I hear you. Relay your question.
We still haven't figured out, like, our name yet. Just that we woke up in a hotel room where apparently a police officer in the middle of a murder investigation.
Wait. Before you say anything stupid, think it through. You're going to be looking at a straitjacket if you tell everyone you lost your memory. Be smart about this. Ask if he's there alone.
That's true.
Sir, I'm not hearing your question.
Want to know if you got my badge's description right in your report. Could you read it to me? Rank, date of birth. I'm looking for my address. I don't know where I live. Please refer to my full name in the future. Let's see.
What? What is it? He's still on the line?
He wants to verify the information on his badge.
But of course, it says Dick Mullen, High General of the Revacholian Cavalry Force.
Tell him to stop wasting time.
What do you need, sir? Over.
Okay,
10-9, repeat message. I didn't get that, sir. Over.
What? What is it? What can he possibly still want from us?
He seems intoxicated and keeps asking me to call him by his name.
Mullen's drunk and emotionally aggressive. That's new.
Wrap it up. Don't indulge in his drunken antics.
alright.
Understood, sir. Over.
That's all for now.
10-10. Over and out.
18 kilometers to the south, in the 41st Precinct's relay booth, a small crowd has gathered around Communication Officer Jules Oldboy Pidier. Around a dozen cops. The small room is filled with cigarette smoke, abuzz with laughter, when Officer Judith Minot enters. Her left arm is in bandages, and her hair trimmed short.
What is going on here? Did something happen?
What happened is my partner made contact. It's not good. He's lost his badge and his sidearm. He seemed confused, delirious even.
Mac, the torso Torson, is finger-fucking his fist, laughing hoarsely and apparently telling some dirty story to his partner, Chester McLean, near the entrance.
Yeah, Mullen was fucked, alright. Sounded fucking drunk to me.
Yeah, Mac's right. This was some gnarly shit there. I mean, before he started begging for money, it was...
Enough! None of this is funny. It's fucking sad. That's what it is. He's a cop. He's one of us, goddamn this.
We must help him.
Yeah? How do you fucking plan to do that, huh? Get him off the drink? Go jogging with him in the morning and get him on carrot juice? He's a lost man.
I just know we can't give up on him when he's at his weakest. You wouldn't.
Mac, man the door. You know what he told me? I don't want to get better. I want to get worse. Those were his words. This shit does not leave this room. Not a word of this to the captain. Or anyone else. We'll give him a couple of days to put his shit together.
I guess I can hold off the report for a few days.
Good. Okay, everybody. Nothing but a prank call here. We all got our laughs. Now get back to work.
Far north, on the other side of the motorway, the officer quietly hunches with his hand in the motor carriage.
Might be a good idea to see if there's something in the toolbox.
Seat and clicks into place. The tools inside are neatly organized.
Take what you need, officer. It's going to be a long case. I'm not protective of my tools, like some men are.
He's clearly a little protective of his tools. But what can you do? Work?
What's interesting is, as well, when it comes to like the flowing of the conversation, is it doesn't overstay. Or rather, I should say, it doesn't feel like it overstays. In like a lot of games where the dialogue is like bloated like this, it can easily feel like the game is constantly trying to divulge information for the sake of divulging information, but here it feels like the player and the game are having a conversation back and forth. In essence, like, it really feels, at least so far, it feels like I am sitting at the table and the game is the DM, so to speak. So there is like this conversation back and forth, and from that spawns like the rest of the narrative. I think the flashlight might be very useful.
Weatherproof and well made. Police issue. Blue lets you see things in the dark you would otherwise miss. The pry bar feels nice and cold in your hand. Heavier than you'd think. Cold and heavy. Like truth. You feel like you're reunited with truth once more.
It concerns me that a pry bar gives me the feeling like I'm getting closer to truth.
All sorts of doors and lids.
And take the rubber-handled chain cutters.
The handles are long and sleek. Snap, snap, go the cutters. The pull-out toolbox slides back into its nest, preheated.
All right. So we picked up a bunch of stuff here, and we're almost leveling up. So might be a good time to, once we level up, to check how to develop the character. And yeah, like, it's really natural in terms of the way that the I still only got one shoe. I never found the other one. Oh, I need to see if I can find the other one. What a video game. Is it in here? What is this?
The bed is cold and not particularly inviting.
The option to go to sleep becomes available every night after 9.
Oh, wait, there's also a time. Oh, okay, so yeah, that's gonna be important. Let's see. Can I go summer door closed for winter? Makes sense. I think you'll vibe with this pretty hard, Loin. I'm having a great time with it so far. Oh yeah, he wasn't kidding about the big hole in the fence. Hey kid, a word, police business.
Right in the dick, Kuno! Get him right in the dick!
Love it in the dick.
The boy is sweating profusely. His eyes are like two black holes and his jaw is twitching as if trying to break free from the empire of his body.
Fuck that! Kuno, yeah! Right in the mouthhole!
Rude, game.
They pay you no heed or pretend not to notice you.
Shits himself?
The rake, Kuno! You should throw the rake at him!
The fuck? Does Kuno know what a rake is? Kuno's not a gardener.
We shouldn't do anything. I don't tempt such forces.
We got little choice
Just
here.
take it easy.
The fuck are you talking about?
He's calling us Kuno! He says we're fucking each other!
Alright, entertain the Kuno. Show me what you got. What you got there? What you got, huh? Show me what you got.
Can I punch him with a pry bar?
Right, pig. This is where Kuno plays with his little wooden choo-choo. What do you want with it?
Let's talk
Yeah,
about
whatever.
something else.
Kuno doesn't give a shit. Kuno's Kuno, pig.
Kuno. Primal. Violent.
It sounds like something you'd call a rabid dog.
Yeah, think about it. Think about that rabid Kuno shit.
He seems glad someone understood what he was going for. But right as he's getting distracted, you hear a malevolent hiss from behind the fence.
Watch out, Kuno! He's trying to fiddle you! He's gonna put his hands on you! Help! Pig's got Kuno! Help! Rape!
Help! He's got the Kuno, help! Help! He's digging his dick out!
Escalate, Kuno! His dick is out! You're afraid!
Pigs in here, Kuno! Somebody, please!
Shut him down. Don't punch him, it's a bad idea.
Look, I know you wanted to hit me. You got that, I'm gonna fuck that Kuno up look. The Kuno's dad gets.
Oh.
The murder look. The rage look.
This game gets in some deep territory. Good lord.
I know what you thought. I'm gonna fuck that Kuno up. I'm gonna shut that shit down. You know what? You should've, because now you're nothing. You're a joke to Kuno.
Yeah, it's
Kuno
banned in
laughs
Australia.
at you. King Kuno!
The whole charade was about establishing dominance over you. You backing up means he's succeeded.
Kuno turned you into his prison, bitch! You're gonna be in this shit with Kuno!
No, you're not. We can just leave.
Bitch, you're gonna be in this shit with Kuno forever!
These are some characters, all right. Can I talk to Kim about this?
Yes?
There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots. Anywhere from 6 to 12 pairs have heavy workers' boots with reinforced toes and hobnails all over the yard.
Okay, so white checks can be repeated if you have a point in that skill, I reckon.
What do you think you are? A super detective? You're hungover. These are just dents in the mud. No pattern emerges for the time being.
Wind mechanism has been oxidized for some years.
An inconspicuous pile of the roofing material, Eternite. It's nothing. Someone just left some roofing material slanted against an old shack. Because there's a secret door hidden behind the panels of Eternite. That's why they're too orderly. There it is. You see a shabby little door.
The thing is, the original game wasn't banned when the Final Cut came out. It got banned for like a week. Wasn't it due to the fact that it got voice acting?
What is this then? A tool shed? Let's investigate.
Oh, interesting. I do have to say though, like the game does overwhelm quite a bit when it comes to like giving you options to choose from. Like it's a bit of a lot to kind of settle yourself in with the mood of the game, with how directionless it can feel a little bit.
Cloak hanging on the railing here.
I feel like that's the idea. I feel like that's the idea behind it. Also, just a quick second, chat. Sorry about this. But I like to kind of get back on what I was saying. Like it does feel it does invoke that same feeling of like a similar curiosity that you have when playing a tabletop RPG. Like, say this would have been like a Call of Cthulhu session or something like that, where you have to investigate a mysterious murder. Then, like, you'd approach it with a somewhat similar mentality, if that makes sense.
Man down. A trooper has been left behind the enemy lines. You could swear it's more of an instinct than an actual sight. But you know, there's the RCM signature rectangle on the cloak. It's a cop's cloak.
Yes, it's probably yours. It bears the RCM insignia, and you have a habit of being careless with your equipment. You could probably make the jump. You look like you've done some track and field in your day.
Ooh, that is not gonna go well.
Doing? We're awfully close to breaking into the industrial harbor. They're bound to have information for us. I thought that was our intention. Or it could be that we are just exploring.
He's thinking you've forgotten where you are again.
The cloak? I do think it's yours, yes. As to whether you should go for it? Well, it doesn't seem too dangerous. 2 meter stops. Whenever you're ready to do it, I'll be right behind you.
Uh-oh.
Nope, no. That's still too high. What were you thinking? You're not a gymnast. You're a boxer. And you've climbed way too high up here.
Sure. Just be careful, okay? Looks like you almost strained a muscle there.
I can feel the sarcasm oozing from that. Let's see. R2 is a zoom button. But we haven't further looked into the shed itself yet, so gonna take a look over there. How did we get up here to begin with? Can I go there? No, can I? Oh, wait, there's a path right there. Gotcha. Pretty astronomical. How's it going? Pieces of bone yellow powder.
Be still, my beating heart. It's amphetamine. Sweet amphetamine. The lieutenant isn't studying the powder in the mirror. He's studying you.
Wasn't thinking about taking it, I swear. Was thinking about justice. Try to get Kim on drugs.
Perhaps not. This is below our pay grade, detective. However, but that there was an interesting find. An alternative path into the harbor that the kid uses. Well done.
Okay, so we do have a backup plan in case we can't get into the harbor. How's the game been so far? It's been a lot of fun, and it's hard to kind of not enjoy this, I guess. Like I said it before, this feels like an incredibly well-written tabletop RPG campaign. Like, the back and forth feels incredibly similar, and I like it. Character human being decomposes.
The corpse
The art is
looks at you
beautiful.
with bulging white eyes. The face around them does not look human. It's swollen and ready to burst. His lips are fish-like, and his tongue like a ball gag in his mouth. You seem to be holding your breath. A cargo belt twists his neck at an unnatural angle. The body below appears stiff. It's letting out an ungodly rot. The smell seeps in, even through your clenched nostrils.
Active decay. It's okay to throw up, officer. No one is judging.
He's about to blow! Cock's gonna blow, Kuno!
Let go of your nose without throwing up. Let's try this.
The smell is repulsive.
Oh,
It
close
pushes in from
though.
your mouth, more instant and more familiar than anything you'd expected. More fever than odor. It fills your mind, flushing you from within.
Yeah, I've purposefully remained as blind as possible on the
Your body curls and pushes it out. Burst
on the playthrough, just so kind of I could kind of experience it in the most raw state of being. And it's an incredible ride so far. We're about like just under 2 hours.
Until a pool of vomit lies under your feet and your throat stings from the stomach acid.
It's okay. Happens to everyone. Keep it. The hangover is clearly making this worse for you. You could use some ammonia to clear your head.
You think ammonia would help?
If you can handle the headache. Some officers use it to deal with cadaverine odor. There is Frit nearby, east of the hostel. They usually have a small apothecary. If they don't... There's a greenhouse here, and a gardener with a wheelbarrow on the corner of the whirling in rags. If she works here, she might have something for the smell.
Acquiring ammonia will provide a modifier to the white check. Modifiers make checks easier and allow you to retry them.
Okay.
Kuno, the pig's getting pretty close to me. Come to snuff my shit out, I think.
Gotta grab something to drink real quick. All right, that's a little better.
Looks like it's time for me to go, Kuno. Pig's come to take me in.
She means it. The fear is real.
Oh, I just want to ask you some questions.
I'm going away for a long, long time, Kuno. Going away for life.
What's going on there? Fuck are you trying to pull, pig?
Kids converse with me.
Murder was the case they gave me.
That's the
This
septic
trash
tank, right?
container is locked. The sliding lid has a padlock that says, whirling in rags. There's something in there, not necessarily connected to the case, but still.
Why am I looking at your trash container? You're just
The
a trash
body is
container?
downwind from here. Maybe you prefer the smell of garbage to the smell of death.
Keep the hunch to
The
yourself.
lieutenant leans in to inspect the lock.
We could try using a pry bar, the one you took from my motor carriage, or we could ask for a key from the manager of the Whirling in Rags. He probably has one.
Let's try that.
All around you, rain falls on the great city of Rivershaw. Rain drips from the eaves and floods the gutters, washing the filth away.
Oh, that is beautiful. That is a beautiful piece of art.
The spring thaw must be here. The snow is melting. Looking up at the sky, cold water dripping from your hair. Grey sky like great battleships, clouds colliding with one another. Rain falls down on the world.
Can it just absolute shivers down my spine at the way that the narration is written in this. It's really surprising how much like how somewhat elegantly the game handles some really gritty subject matters, and just kind of the way that it sort of juxtaposes these moments with, like, say, the conversation we just had with Kuno, which is tonally very aggressive.
Your shirt sticks to your chest. The shoulders of your disco blazer grow heavy. The cold finds its way in under your skin. You shiver, and the city shivers with you. Sheets of rain over the water, a flight of stairs leading into the ocean. Wave after wave washing the coast of Martinez, with its motorboats and gently swaying reeds. The ruins of a half-sunken sea fort crumble on an inlet beyond the Bay of Revachol. Ghosts rise into the sky. The skyscrapers of La Delta, the financial district. Faint golden light seeps from the office window. Will you ever go there? No, you are just one of the hundreds of thousands who watch them rise across the bay from Martinez every day. Urban coastline, rain dripping off Eternite-covered roofs. Cinder blocks left over from half-finished construction. A defunct research and development building, once seized by revolutionaries. An old wooden church stands on stilts above the water. Coal City, end of all lines. Your hair is an oily mess flecked with ash from neighboring coal plants. Smokestacks rise somewhere in the distance.
Man, this is incredible. I was not expecting, like, I was expecting to be engrossed in the narrative, but I wasn't expecting an all-encompassing visceral experience like this.
The great gates of the industrial harbor are locked. A chill runs down your back. You shudder like an animal trying to shake water from its hide.
It's like through the way that the narration kind of presents a lot of the facets and elements that compose this game, you sort of get this almost tactile sensation. Like the way that they describe like rainfall or the sounds and smells of the cities are just as like keen to the senses as the description of the smell of the corpse. And it's really weird to kind of draw that comparison, but like normally a game would just say like, oh, it smells like sulfur. Here you have this entire poetic description that uses rich metaphors to describe how rain falls or how the coal factory smells.
Behind the gates, heaps of supply crates, red and blue metal shipping containers, slick with rain. The Greater Revachol Industrial Harbor is an artificial mountain range. Immense wealth resides within, and immeasurable poverty in its shadow.
Flavor text is not just important, it is also the way that you present a flavor text that kind of distinguishes it from just a descriptor of the object to the object as real within the game. And it's kind of, I think that's why it feels like such a visceral experience. Like the game presents everything within this game as a real thing in the universe itself. And that creates this incredibly tactile sensation, like you can almost touch the buildings or the automobile or something like that. Accompanying that with these incredibly naturally flowing conversations make this just such a nice experience to just kind of, well, nice is not the right word considering we're in the middle of a rundown town trying to solve and investigate a murder while being drunk off our asses and trying to not to succumb to peer pressure of getting high. And like the essence of the game, like you can really tell. Like I've been sort of going back and forth on the tabletop comparison that I've been giving, and it does hold true in the sense that, like as a GM's job, it's sort of your as a GM, it's sort of your job to make the world real for the players that are playing the characters. And the way that Disco Elysium so far presents itself is in a very similar fashion. Like it goes out of its way to make a scene in front of you feel as real for the character that you're playing as possible. That is hard to do.
La Drusienne, King Dri's passenger harbor. Cruise ships flanked by dock arms, cranes watching over the mouth of the river distributary. Couronne, the lower middle class. Distributary after distributary cuts the city blocks in half. 7-story buildings trail off into the rain. A silvery curtain of rain over the houses. The class divide. Capeside apartments. Tower blocks crowd one another. 4.46mm bullets still lodged in their war-torn stone walls.
Like this is a very good example. You can just say like, oh, it's a concrete building, like an apartment building, right? But instead, it goes out of its way to kind of describe the way that everything is situated, but also the state of everything, giving you a much richer idea behind what the narrator is kind of describing. It's really cool.
Hallways collapse from the mortar hits of a war that was lost long ago. Clotheslines go to waste in the rain. radios play. A yard. Rain falls onto the roof of a woodshed. Coal leaks into a puddle beneath a dead man's feet. He swings from a tree, bloated. Droplets of rain slip from his cold cheeks. A traffic jam. Rain thrumming on the roofs of motor vehicles. Inside, drivers watch water streaming down their windshields. The statue of a king shudders. He too is cold. The canal bridge has been raised. The road ascends. A raised motorway loops above the ghetto. Beneath its concrete columns, a sea of rooftops, woodwork, and tar stretches northward. 4-story buildings as far as the rain can fall. The snows melt in Jamrock.
Oh, that is beautiful. It's very descriptive without feeling verbose. Yeah, it I think a large part of it is also that it never repeats the same bit of dialogue. That makes sense.
Revachol is the capital of the world. Jamrock is the capital of Revachol. Droplets form on your eyelashes. It's home.
Have a brother in the cut. Where the wood at?
To be in Martinez, where no one goes, at the runoff point of a long-forgotten canal, in the whitest part of town, in the shadow of the day the revolution failed. Standing in the rain, looking north, where Jamrock Rock City stretches inland. In the rain-swept distance, above the rooftops of Jamrock, a repurposed silk mill stands perched above the motorway exit. Precinct 41 hunches in the rain. Your vision blurs. You wipe your face with your hand. The rain stings your eyes, making you look up and blink. Coalition aerostatics hang like apparitions under the cloud cover. Way up there, where rain forms, rotors flutter silently. Your sight clears.
This rain will not let up anytime soon. You should get a raincoat. There's a freight to the east. They sell them there.
Okay, so we leveled up, I think. Okay, so how does this... Oh! Fuck. Wait, why did volition go down? Oh, okay. That's because I got a hit on my morale. And this is because wait, bonus from items. Oh, is it because I'm not wearing all my shoes? Okay, signature skill +1, that puts it at +7. Bonus from items +1. Okay. Wait, can I level up one of these? You understand others, authority, suggestion. Mm. And I coordination, ready aim fire, see hear smell everything and let no detail go unnoticed. I think I'm gonna level up perception from now. Okay, so that gives me, I can get a max of +2 in this. Gotcha. So the 3 indicates the base skill of that, so this is 5 + 2. Gotcha. Oh, that is actually... Wow, that is brilliant. Wonder where the 3 went. Oh, in this. Let's do this. I have some new stuff. Items. And I also had... Okay, so this is... Wow, that's a lot. Luckily, time does not go by that fast.
Hello, sir. Step right in. The store is open.
I am the law.
Are you interested in a new and exciting book?
Is it okay if I ask you some
sir.
questions?
I'll try to answer any questions you have. I hope they're about book. My name is Annette, sir. My mum, her name is Plaisance. She owns the store. She's inside minding the register or organising the stock.
You know what I really like? This is gonna sound really odd considering I am actually streaming this, but I love it when I am playing a game and I just constantly have to remind myself, like, right, you're streaming. It's a really weird sensation that kind of goes against actually streaming, but like I really like it when a game is just absorbing my attention like that. Engrossed.
Feel free to step in and browse our wares.
And you're standing out here, Nicole,
signaling
because
that
why?
The store is open. Otherwise, people might not know. They'd miss out on the crime, romance, and biographies of famous people.
A sudden gush of wind turns the pages of the books on the counters. She covers her face, smiling, but she's cold.
Such a good trooper. By brutally dismantling the free market. Okay.
Oh no, sir. I'm happy to help Mum by luring in customers. Besides, I have some hot juice in my vacuum bottle to keep warm. I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running.
What is school anyway?
School? Well, mine is a big yellow building on Boogie Street, and the people there run it. They say it's a charity.
The gale wind blows in from the coast, a wind of needles. It wraps itself around a building of brick and mortar. Somewhere, a clamor rings through the honeycomb of classrooms. Remorse, the parquet of assembly halls, the rows of stall bars are growing cold. The corridors stand empty. The girl's voice somehow finds its way through this strange feeling. You haven't heard a word of what she's been saying these past few moments. You only...
Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says a proper worker is dutiful. That's how you get ahead in life. You succeed. Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first. There's talk about this house being...
Behind her, the window has been boarded up. You sense the boards creaking, twisting for a second, and some kind of doubt in her tense shoulders.
Cursed in what way? I think that's why I've had trouble continuing this, since my attention is usually split between multiple things. Really gotta find the time. Really gotta finally take my time for it. Yeah, it is a game that you really have to sit down for, and like that's why I'm taking occasional breaks from like this to kind of talk to you guys. It's like it's really like you got to do one or the other, right? You can't really dive into this to the fullest of attentions. And that's also probably why this was an excellent time to actually start streaming this, because like my voice is still recovering. This gives me an excuse to kind of keep streaming, but at the same time allow my voice to like fully heal up.
Cursed in the way that makes them say that no business has ever really thrived here, sir. That they all go... Exactly, but we've been doing fine so far.
I don't think curses are real. Sounds rather serious. I should probably look into it.
They shouldn't be, but they seem real. Anyhow, they say that these grounds are doomed for businesses.
They're not doomed, but your mother should learn from their mistakes.
Of course, sir.
What is this crime business?
Fiction is about murders or burglaries or things like that, and the work of a policeman or a private detective who's trying to solve a crime and catch the criminals.
Wait, not crime fiction. I need to know what crime is. Hey, Blank, how's it going? Yeah, the narrator, especially if this is the first voiceover job, voice acting job that they have ever done. Like, it's incredibly well done.
Crime is what we were solving before this conversation began.
Why would anyone want to read about
It's
crime?
exciting to people, I guess. They get to imagine dangerous things, and it's kind of like a puzzle, where you can guess who the criminal is, or how the good guys are going to catch him. You don't look much like a policeman.
She examines you as if to find something policeman-like. Well, what does a cop
Didn't
look like
mean to
then?
offend, sir. Sorry, sir. It's just that you don't look like Dick Mullen.
Nobody actually looks like the guy in the picture. Just stupid fantasy.
More about books, maybe?
Hey, Dinny Danny, how's it going? Wait, they're just leaving the books out in the rain? Future government reads your mind using radio technology. Agriculture promotes freedom and roaming upstream. A book about pate. Takes willpower to even read the author's name. I'll come back to this later. I need to not be as insufferably distracted so I can find my way to this one.
The RCM in Martinez. What can I help you with? We don't see a lot of police around here, that's all. Of course. What can I help you with? Sure, I'm done with it.
Oh, okay.
Go easy on that stuff. It gave me a terrible headache.
Hey, Miss Wexford, how's it going? We need
course.
directions.
Where to? No problem. Of course. I won't hold you back.
Her gloves. You get the feeling that you need them. You have a dead body to deal with after all.
Sure, keep them. I have another pair.
That's... I mean... Yeah. That's nice. I was looking for something else. The close for winter. Please use main entrance. What is the main entrance to this building? Are you the main entrance? Yep. Okay, gotcha.
Can I help you?
Is the trash container out back yours?
Mine? No, it belongs to the Whirling in Rags.
Thank you for clearing that up. Why do you keep the container locked?
Why? To keep the hobos and drunks out. That's why. And the neighbors, too. They put their trash there, and they don't pay for the garbage company.
I thought as much. And are you the only party with access to the trash container?
Well, yes. Us and the garbage disposal company.
It seems a little callous, doesn't it? Something stirs in you.
I wonder what this feeling is.
Find out.
We need those keys. Doesn't it seem callous to you, guarding even your leftovers from the poor?
What do you need them for?
It concerns the case. Please cooperate.
I really like him. He's just kind of letting you do your thing, and in the meantime, he's conducting his own investigation.
Just bring them back once you're done, please.
I have seen something, I'll get to that a bit, otherwise I'm going to be wholeheartedly distracted. I gotta be careful though, because, man, at some point I'm gonna flood my PS4's memory.
This trash container is locked. With a well-oiled crack, the lock pops open. It should now be possible to simply raise the lid. Don't. Maybe you shouldn't.
Didn't I just have a premonition that there's something in there?
There is, but you won't like it. Sweat forms on your brow. Your hand is still on the lid. The smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste.
We're just in time. This hasn't been emptied for over a week.
Look under the boxes of cartons.
Milk, an egg rest with one broken egg in it. Some pasta wrapper. Picking up the soggy packages somehow feels familiar. A box falls into pieces in your hands. Batiste Soleil cereal. There are plastic pasta packages below. And turbo noodles. Nothing of note, however. Among the threadbare kitchen towels, something catches your eye. A pair of denim trousers. As the legs of the slime-covered jeans begin to unspool from the garbage, a rank corpse smell fills the air.
The victim's clothes? Cadaverine odor is faint. If these belong to the deceased, they were removed when he was still in the early stages of decay. Drop them in here, officer. Guitar-marked blue jeans. Pockets empty or emptied. He wore them with a belt, too. A white belt. The loops appear stretched, but the belt is missing. That's it. Do you see anything else in there? I have another bag here.
Something slimy catches your eye. A drab, long-sleeved shirt, olive-colored, appears from the food waste, dripping with pus.
This is a military-type overgarment. No label or serial number. This is the kind of rib-knit shirt that's worn over light armor to conceal it in an urban scenario. Anything more?
The rest of the rags are just kitchen variety waste. A yellow old mug that catches your eye. But other than that...
A thrown-out towel, a mug,
all right.
That's all?
We should go to Gart again and ask if he knows who put the clothes in the trash. It could be as simple as someone from the hostel cleaning the yard. Or that one. I'd advise against confronting that force.
Yeah, we need to ask the kid. You think someone from the Whirling might have been
Not
involved?
Really. All we know is the victim's clothes are in the trash. The lid was locked, and his establishment had the key. It's just a small loose thread.
The lieutenant nods, then looks back into the trash container. It's just organic waste, cold and slimy on your hands. Apple and potato pills, mostly. Unidentified sludge, and the occasional chicken bone thrown in for good measure. But hey.
I'm taking a mug.
Nothing. It's nothing. Nothing more to see here. What's this? A blue piece of plastic sticks out from the apple peels. It's shiny. Looks like the corner of something. Something larger. A clipboard. A blue plastic clipboard with moist papers hanging from it. They look badly damaged, but you can still make out forms and notes, written in a man's handwriting.
Officer, is that your paperwork?
Okay, gotta note this down. Let's see.
It is. Look. The plastic has the RCM street grid on it. You've even got an autopsy form in there. If you don't mind me asking, how did this get in the trash?
It has a foreboding quality to it. Maybe I needed to lose it for the great bloodletting to begin. I think I didn't want to be a cop anymore, so I threw it away. Rather not talk about it right now. It's interesting though that the whole not wanting to be a cop keeps coming up. Like I'm kind of curious about that, if that thread has a sweater attached to it.
Well,
his eyes express a rare condolence. Then he picks it up.
Lucky we found it. You should take stock of what remains, just to be sure some has not made it into the hands of the RCM's adversaries. Organized crime and the like. There might have been police secrets in your notes. It would also not hurt to start taking notes on the case. Now, tell me what your eagle eyes see. Or are we finished?
Some items, such as the ledger you found, are interactable. Go to your inventory and select the Interact tab to read your paperwork.
Alright, let's go do that. I think.
You pick out a broken mug with an oddly racist depiction of the yellow man frolicking in saffron, only in its social sensibility.
You've acquired an interactable item. Investigate this.
The container sounds a muffled gong.
That's one thing off the list. I think we got it all.
Okay, now I can interact with stuff. Oh, hell yeah. Let's see.
It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? Not much. Oh boy, here we go. What are you going to say about a broken, tossed away mug that you dug out of the garbage?
Is this your inane ideology? Caring about political capital to mask my badass thing? What?
But it was in the trash. Why not just call it out when you see it? Or do some volunteering work? Just finish your case, detective. It's the ledger you found in the trash. A pitiful cabbage of white and yellow papers hanging from plastic board, barely held together by a metal clip. This sad display is made complete by the faint smell of urinal cleaner. There's a piece of toilet paper, or is it cleaning tissue? No, it's toilet paper. desperately sticking to the back of the blue plastic clipboard.
What's the adhesive that they use?
It's a metaphor for you.
Okay, I feel attacked now. Ooh. Oh, these are pretty good. Gypsy brought me some tea and chocolates.
Below the pathetics, terror. Do not look into its blue heart.
I shall inspect the toilet
It's just
paper.
toilet paper sticking to the back of the plastic clipboard. You can take it off if you want.
Listen, if you're gonna give me the petty options, you haven't met me as a tabletop RPG player.
Still wet, the toilet paper peels off the plastic easily. All you have to do is shake it off with your finger and voila, the ledger now looks marginally better. An aluminium block runs the width of the board, biting down on the paperwork. Its crocodile teeth are the only thing keeping the papers together. A regular pencil, the tip worn down to nothing, has been attached to the clip. The surface is interrupted by a silvery sticker. It's rectangular, sparkling with iridescence. You don't know how you didn't notice it before.
What? Yes, halogen watermark used for adding information to RCM property.
What kind of
It
information?
depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting stamp, mine has my station number and address. The information varies by date of issue.
How many years you've been on the force, he's thinking. It'll have that.
Interesting. What kind of
It
information?
depends. Aside from an anti-counterfeiting...
How many years you've been on the force, he's thinking.
Any capable light with the right wavelength will do. All RCM vehicles have headlights designed to reveal halogen watermarks. Mine too.
This means you can read the watermarks if you just turn the lights on.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand.
Hang on. Is there a tool I can use for this?
It's the ledger you found in the trash. An aluminium block. The surface is interrupted.
What?
Can I...
Yes, okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag from the clipboard in your hand. It's...
Okay, let's put the ledger away for now and read that under a light. Okay, next step is confronting the manager here.
Can I help you? Thanks. I hope you found what you were looking for. How strange. I certainly didn't put them there.
Or in a fugue state, could someone on your staff have put... Who else has the keys?
Sylvie had the keys before I got here, and I can vouch for her. I can vouch for all my staff. None of us would tamper with the crime scene.
Who else has the keys, though?
Trash collection service, CS Municipal. I don't see why they would put anything in the trash, though.
Ah, the elusive CS Municipal. I doubt we'll be able to track down who was sent here last and when. This will have to be one of those little threats that solves itself down the road.
On Clinton Street, near the Boogie Street Diamond, a small truck rattles down an alleyway. It stops by a rusted trash container. Two men, their faces rough and swollen, jump out. They look at the container, despondently. CSM is written on their backs.
Thank you anyway.
Yes?
Does this count as under a light? Let's see.
It's the ledger you found in the trash. A cabbage of papers hanging from the board.
I'm gonna smell it.
The acidic stench of rotting food has rubbed off on the cellulose. It now forms the base of the experience. This base surrounded by a faint air of spoiled meat, the stuff of death itself, and then sprinkled liberally with the citrus zest of toilet cleaner. An aluminium block runs the width. The surface is interrupted.
What? Yes, any capable light with the right wavelength. All RCM vehicles have had lights designed to reveal.
This means you can read the watermark.
Okay.
While a bunch of sodden papers sag, they're not exactly white. They're yellowed in patches.
Hey,
by
Martian, how's it going, dude?
alcohol, and covered in dense blue handwriting. Ink escapes into watercolor patterns, reaching its tendrils across entire pages. The paper itself is checkered with faint red lines, forming short paragraphs.
If y'all can do me a massive favor, please do go follow my good friend Martian Dude, an excellent musician and an incredibly chill stream to hang out in.
Once in a while, there's a red stamp that exclaims, "Case files commit to paper." The case files themselves are plenty. You count more than 100 sodden, crumpled up, earmarked pages falling apart in your hands. They appear to be sufficiently organized and extremely dense, if mostly illegible.
What's in there? What are they about?
Work, strife, poverty, the Jamrock Quarter. These are handwritten logs of investigations dating back to January 51, this year. The exact number is hard to estimate due to missing pages and an odd naming convention. But there are at least 20, maybe 30 cases undertaken, not completed, mind you. Yes, it appears you employ a, shall we say, robust yet literary system. Each investigation has its case number written on the margins. Yet, still more tellingly, most are accompanied by a name.
And they're written in capital letters
Yes,
too?
all caps. One is called The Next World Mural. Another, The Square Bullet Hole Murders. Another yet, The Unsolvable Case.
This man is about to write a script at Starbucks.
Others appear more light-hearted. The guys on a couch in an unexpected location, and the murder at the Uka Parlor. Even the rare article-free collapsing tenement. Murder features prominently throughout. You like this grimy murdering, don't you? It's going to take an effort to piece these case files together, but it can be done. Once you're done inspecting them up close.
You mean the alphanumeric? Officer, precinct, time of arrival at the scene?
I mean a non-numeric one with titles.
Oh, you mean the titular? Yes, well, so do I. In our defense, almost everyone in the RCM does.
We picked the sensitive archetype.
It's a holdover from the early days of the RCM, right after the revolution, when the organization had little idea how to do things. It persists in an unofficial capacity. Officers use these titles to refer to their work among themselves.
I seem to have named the case the Square Bullet Hole Murders.
Again, in your defense, I seem to have named one the man with the hole in his head. That was a real person. His death was real. Still, I named it that, to amuse myself.
This is rather telling, Officer Kim. Martian confirmed to be fellow sensitive boy. I chose the thinker as well when I tested it out.
I pray his loved ones never find out. Rail spiked through the head. He died. It was a workplace accident.
I haven't opened it. Have to open an official case. Is there room?
There is, for precisely one more. 15 pages near the end remain untouched by the damage. The checkered grid forms a structure of passages, breaking the case into subtasks to accomplish.
Commit to paper.
The tasks you've completed flow out of the pen in a brash freehand similar to the rest of the letters. The wording comes easily. It's almost robotically simple, a language developed for mental rigor and simplicity. Inspect the victim's body. Interview the cafeteria manager. A satisfying slash sounds across the paper. You're done, it seems to say. And you, and you. Things to be done and things already done. The composition of reality. This is an extremely useful tool for a detective of the Citizens Militia. Now all that remains is to name the case.
You know, I keep drawing from tabletop RPG references here, but I don't know if any of you are familiar with Acquisitions Incorporated, specifically the C Team, which is run by Jerry Holkins, one of the founders of Penny Arcade. His particular way of narrating a campaign is fairly similar to the way that everything is described here. It's really cool. Have you by any chance named our case?
No, actually. Any ideas?
This game is just as much a point-and-click adventure as it is a CRPG like Planescape Torment. Planescape Torment is a pretty apt comparison, yeah. Like, Planescape is such a non-RPG for the most part. I still remember getting a ring that would further the plot by biting off my own finger and giving it to a cannibal in that game. Any ideas? The Furies are at home in the mirror. Shit on a stick. The Hanged Man.
Great. That's great. That's actually what I was thinking too. The Hanged Man. Good, strong name. We have a very good name for the case now. I'm going to start calling it the Hanged Man. It's good we sorted this out.
You don't exactly close them, so much as distance yourself from the smelly papers. They're a little further from your nose now.
Plus someone explained the system.
Arson, petty theft, spousal abuse. Handwritten logs on dozens of investigations date back to January 51. Stamped case. You don't exactly close them, so much as a distance. In the back, you see thin, translucent copier paper. Some neon yellow, some bright red. All covered in boxes, like marching armies. These look like official forms, waiting to be filled out.
What type of forms are
3.
there?
The topmost are misconduct fines. The middle ones are station calls. And the bottommost are field autopsy forms. Each is easy enough to make sense of.
What I also really like is the game does a really adamant job at making you curious about the options that are presented in front of you. Like, rarely, it's mostly due to the presentation as well, but like in the way that it's presented, it makes everything sound like an important detail to whatever is going on, which is something that we still don't quite know. We know we don't have our memories right now, and we're just kind of bluffing our way through, and we know that there's a dead man hanging in the yard, which we still haven't taken down.
A monetary penalization ranging from 20 to 250 real. Severe cases allow for 1,000 real, but that requires special paperwork. The details of issuing these fines are spread out over the rest of the fields.
which has been hanging there hanging in the wind for a week.
These are quite sinister in tone. They give a date and time for the person to appear at the specified precinct police station. Below the call are the criminal charges you risk by not appearing.
But I didn't really expect this game to go this hard on just the vibes and the storytelling. It's really nice. Like I said, I don't usually really like genuinely forget and have to not forget. I have to remind myself that I'm still streaming. This doesn't happen that often, and it's really nice when a game manages to sort of absorb you to the point where it does. Great, I love it. The art is definitely solid. One of my favorite games. I was so hyped when you said you would play it. It's for yours and Mr. Wexford's recommendation, as well as Gypsy, just saying like this is a game for you.
A dozen pages of thin copy paper, bright red in color. You see the parameters of a deceased human form waiting to be filled in. Age, sex, condition of internal organs, color of the irises, predation marks, condition of sexual organs. Yes, all that remains now is to fill those forms and hand them to people. Fines for wrongdoers, interview requests for bad guys, and field autopsies to dead guys. What delicious power hid within this pathetic mess. You feel better. The rest of the stinking cellulose is much worse for wear. Being sandwiched between the board and the rest of the paperwork must have spared the fragile copier paper.
You should, honestly, Gypsy, you should just play Shadowrun. You're gonna be surprised at how similar it feels to this. It's really good.
It's made of dark blue plastic, hard enough to beat someone to submission with. The edges are rounded, however. The U4 size board feels thick and heavy in your hand. Light shimmers on its wet surface. On the back, you see the embossed letters, RCM.
So I'm still waiting for the Shadowrun collection to release physically on the Switch. I feel like it's such a good game to kind of lay down with in bed and just kind of play in handheld mode. What did you say the color was?
Blue. The blue heart. Don't look into it. Something rattles inside, ever so lightly. Is there a hidden compartment? The plastic shimmers like lapis lazuli, but it is not see-through.
Lapis lazuli.
You cannot see to its center. With your hands, U4-sized pages hang from the clip screwed to the top of the board.
Oh, interesting.
Is not what you end up doing. You squeeze the plastic to slide it open, but nothing happens. Then you bend it some, then crack it. The goddamn thing is stuck. A hot flash of rage comes over you. For a moment there, before it recedes, you feel as though you might just squeeze a tear of anger out of your duct. Makes you wonder, why? It's unjust, that's why. You can't even get to that thing anymore. The ledger quivers in your hand. As it shakes, the pages rustle.
That is incredible.
Suddenly afraid of you for some reason.
That is an incredible interaction of the skills, by the way. That is... I rarely notice that. Like, the way that everything sort of interacts with each other. It's like you can have a lot of points in one skill, and that will allow you to sort of rationalize the result of another. I have never seen a game do that. Usually it's just a very black and white thing. Either you make the skill check or you don't. And this creates this sort of dynamic back and forth between the skills. It's really that's really incredible. Okay, these are all white checks, so if I get a point in logic, I can read the files.
It's proving to be harder than expected. You just don't have the intellectual rigor to patch the quilt back together. Try again later.
I'll start playing Shadowrun when I get a new desk chair, okay? Okay, so we're getting a new desk chair tomorrow. Gotcha. I understand. I see where this request is coming from. Ask Kuno if he knows anything about the victim's clothes in the trash. Who else has unauthorized? Read the watermarks. Loin, thank you so much for gifting us up to Well Howdy, partner. Really freaking appreciate the continued support, man. Gonna get some Kevins and Riches in chat, and congratulations on the crown. Thank you so much. That means a lot, man.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone, a pull-out toolbox, and the soft glow.
How do I turn on the headlights?
Alright. Ready? I turn, you press start. It's next to the preheater.
He's downplaying his excitement. The lieutenant is more than happy to show off his precious carriage. The dashboard lights up with orange glow. The rounds per minute gauge jumps, and the engine of the Caprice Canema comes to life with a whiny growl. The lights unfold with a little click, casting electrical light onto the ground before the vehicle.
There you go. I'll turn them off from the remote once you're done. We just need to stand in front of the machine now.
Okay. I still am wearing the rubber gloves and one shoe.
As you hold your ledger's clip under the headlamp, an iridescent hologram appears. A street grid and the veins of a great river. A familiar sensation washes over you.
There she is. Revachol West.
Around the borders of the watermark are dozens, no, hundreds of micro-perforations.
Bless you, Gypsy. Look at the shimmering street
The
grid.
rectangular watermark is overlaid with the logo of the RCM, and yet the major arteries of Revachol are all recognizable. They shimmer in the Canema's headlights.
Where are we on this?
Let me see. Right here.
Near the top of the map on a segment of coast jutting into the Great Ocean.
No, it does not.
Look at the
There are many of
perforators.
them, and they are divided into 3 separate rows. The first row has 18 dots.
18 dots. Just gonna rate, like, any detail that kind of jumps out.
The next is the longest. It runs all the way around the border, and then some. There are so many, it's hard to count. More than 150, at least. Maybe even 2. The last row has 3 perforations. That's it.
Did we hear that one? I don't think so. I don't think you can hear the other room.
Those are perforations. They represent your record as an officer of the RCM. They are your statistics, as it were. I should have guessed you'd keep a record. Officers often do. Let's take a look.
Son, here is where we score your life performance. You better hope it's good.
I'm about to be scolded by the narrator being the disappointed dad. Well, that's okay. I have to say sorry for that.
The first row represents your years of service.
18 years of service.
Okay, not bad at all. What did you do before you volunteered?
Walked the land telling whores and liars of the end to come. There were 9,855 days remaining. Wait,
That's
18
what it
years?
says. I might have guessed even longer based on your age. What did you do all those blissful years of your youth?
Probably some boring office job, same as
No
everyone
shame
else.
in working a regular job, detective. Sometimes after
Hey,
a long
Nab,
day
how's it
like
going?
this, I even envy it. Let's move on, shall we? This next row, the one that wraps all the way around, is your number of closed cases. Closed is good. It means finished. You've got, let's see, wow, more than 200. It's quite a lot, even for someone who's been on the force for nearly 2 decades. Usually, clearing more than 10 cases a year puts you in the 90th percentile of all RCM officers.
Are you saying I used to be a super cop? Used to be good, and that's some solace, I guess. What's the last number? I don't think I can re-become this person. Used to be good.
Right. Those are your confirmed kills. You've got precisely 3 perforations there.
Okay, I'm gonna mark these down. Uh, 200 plus closed cases. I'm gonna reckon that the 3 confirmed kills are gonna come up at a later point in time. And so far, we haven't really done all that much. We just asked like a couple of questions and that's about it. I'm doing alright. Been busy with work. Hope y'all are doing alright. I am doing pretty good.
Confirmed kills. That sounds pretty evil. A drink would soften that feeling.
So I'm a killer?
That's right. A killer of humans.
For an RCM officer, especially Precinct 41, which is in the Jamrock Quarter, it's rather tame. I mean that in a good way.
What's it feel like to kill a man, Mr. McCoy? A young woman asked the man across the desk from her.
Where is this? Connect to station 41, understand cop culture. Okay.
Honestly, babe, says John McCoy, crossing his ankles over said desk. I don't feel anything anymore. It's just like brushing my teeth. I do it once or twice a week and don't really think about it. There's no trace of guilt in his voice.
There are certain officers who treat their kills like some kind of ghoulish game. If they do happen to solve a case, it's usually by accident. But it seems as though you are, or at least were, one of the good ones. So we have that to be thankful for.
He's sincerely glad you're not a scary predator. Not to say relieved you're competent.
Have you ever killed anyone, Kim?
Yes.
That's very, very short.
It's not a problem for him to state it, however.
I need to return to this game. At some point I started after burning myself out like 3 CRPGs. And the writing in this game was too dense for my tired mind. Yeah, it's really one of those games that you need to kind of be fresh for on the mind. Like if you've already done a couple of CRPGs in a row, like Baldur's Gate, Planescape Torment, Tides of Numenera, then your brain is gonna not process the information all that well. I had that after Tides of Numenera. That after like the 27th paragraph on a door, like literally 2 pages worth of text describing a door. I just kind of went like, oh man, this is such a video game.
Everyone has their own method of coping. Some more effective or self-destructive than others. Personally, I find it helps to keep up a few hobbies. Oh, this and that. Let's not get into it now. Why not gardening? You've already got the gloves.
Wow. I wonder if this is a remark that he only makes if you have these gloves equipped. I wonder if that's the case. That would be insane, no. And the amount of dialogue would be just off the chain in terms of just sheer line count.
It's meant in earnest. Please don't mistake it for a jab. The lieutenant nods.
Okay, let's go. Put the ledger away.
I'll go turn off the lights.
There's some remote control on the key.
You can now see your statistics on your journal page, to the right of the task description.
Okay, that's interesting. Hang on. Cases solved 216. People killed. Good cop, bad cop 2. Name still unknown. I wonder if we can... actually figure out our name or finish the game without figuring out our name. That would be really funny. Goods from the lorry haphazardly littered the surroundings. Oh, right, I have to talk to the kid again. Unfortunately.
Fuck does Kuno care?
No, back down from Kuno.
Yeah? The kingdom of Kuno? The fuck do you want with it?
The dead man's clothes were in the trash container. How did they get there?
Yeah, Kuno doesn't know shit about that. That shit is beneath Kuno.
And someone may have tampered with the murder scene.
Listen! Kuno doesn't care about this small-time shit. Just listen. Kuno saw what you did there, dumpster diving. Sad shit. Kuno could hook you up with some sweet rags. Shit like Kuno's wearing. Your size, good price. 500 real.
Must have seen them lying around. Alright, entertain me. What's so great about these bands? The tampering I'm investigating. And already half bands.
Whatever. Kuno was trying to help you, but you're too fat for falling anyway, pig. Dunno. Kiptas gardener used to work there.
Hold on, the gardener used to work there.
That's what Kuno said. She couldn't handle the heat, so she took off. Kuno can take it. Shit's nothing to Kuno.
Let's snort that freaking corpse smell. It murdered that last remaining brain cell. Bask in the odor. Become one with its essence.
Look, Kuno doesn't explain shit. Kuno just says shit. No, it's not fucking Kuno's. It's ancient. Look at it.
He thinks you're fucking fool, Kuno. He says you climb the ladder up to your magic treehouse.
Get the fuck out of here, pig. Kuno doesn't have a magic treehouse. Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit.
The body, what do you know about it?
Shitload, pig. What's your question?
Don't tell the pig shit, Kuno.
If I were to want to waste my time, which I do not, I would ask them who he is, how he got there, and the usual.
You have no idea what the usual is. Just ask whatever comes to mind.
Do you know who he was?
Kuno uses the fucking for target practice.
End of conversation. Very strong. You should be this stoic.
No, you should not.
Probably climbed. Kuno was busy down the road when that shit went down.
So you didn't see it happening?
You heard Kuno. Kuno wasn't even in Martinez. Kuno wasn't in Revachol. Kuno wasn't regional.
Okay. Where did you go then?
I don't know. Some fucking...
Looks around trying to come up with something?
Or I don't know. Some other place. Night City. Kuno was in fucking Night City. Kuno gives this info out on a need-to-know basis.
Ooh.
And you don't need to know. Kuno didn't smoke the gimp, if that's what you meant.
Have you seen anyone suspicious around?
Just a couple of pigs sniffing around in the dirt. That seems pretty fucking suspicious to Kuno.
Yeah, you tell the faggoty Kuno.
You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Get lost.
You found Kuno's secret door to Kuno's secret shack. It was closed for 5,000 years. How the fuck did you get in?
Kuno isn't fucking around. Yes, he is.
Shit. Get the fuck out of here. You can't do that.
He can't do that, Kuno. He's trying to fuck at you again.
Pigs can't displace. Can't do that teleport shit. How did you like it in there, pig old boy? Kuno's got a lot of cool shit there, right?
What's with the tube of magnesium Kuno?
It's a vitamin.
Ask him about the drugs.
Don't you know anything? Yeah, it's the mag. You fucking need that shit to stay on top of your game. Kuno goes through like a tube a day, rips mag like a motherfucker, and you could use a battle.
Oh, don't teach him, Kuno. He's gonna use it against you, Kuno.
You're not getting this, pig. It completely takes away the hangover. It's like you didn't do anything. Like you stayed home playing with your choo-choo.
No wonder Kuno is so smart. No, he isn't.
You pig, don't do mag. You're gonna OD and you're gonna fucking die.
That's where Kuno gets his daily hit of electric. Kuno Shazam. Kuno rides the fucking lightning in there, pig.
Bet you'd like to ride the lightning too, wouldn't you? You feel tired and old, but you could have that sparkle in your eyes.
Is it? You got pretty fucked. Kuno's surprised you've still got your head after all that. Don't sweat it, drunk pig. Kuno will keep your nasty secret. Kuno's not snitching.
This kid concerns me. Want to know the worst part? It's not too far off for the kids from the kids that we deal with here on a daily basis.
He's saying you climbed up there. He probably saw you do it. That explains the calluses on your hands. You scaled the side of the building, entertaining the local kids.
Oh, that? Kuno decapitates pigs. That's just a Kuno demo tape.
We're trying to send me a message of some sort?
Yeah, to the both of you. Watch your ass in Kuno's town, or Kuno's gonna fuck your head off. Course you fucking can. How do you think Kuno made all the Ducky boys his gimps? Just got a fly, pig. Kuno knows. Kuno and C saw you shit yourself. It's okay, pig. Not everyone can face the fear Kuno style.
That's all there is to it then. Don't be a pansy. Just jump.
Good call, Pigmeister. Don't come and talk to Kuno about his kingdom. Kuno doesn't fucking care.
This kid really concerns me. Gil's never been to Liverpool. Can confirm that I indeed have not ever been to Liverpool. Hello? There you go. I want to see if I can try it again.
Tarpaulin cloak with possible RCM markings is still caught on the railing.
Go for the cloak. Still low. Backed by physical instrument. Try it again. Damn it! You just gotta embrace the Kuno.
Nope, no. That's still too high.
Sure. Just be careful, okay?
Damn it, I want my jacket back. It's cold and windy out and it's raining. Shit sucks. Alright, but we have a little bit of information on the gardener. It does. Who put the clothes in the trash? Who else has unauthorized access? Miracles happen. Some are reported to hanging. Maybe if we found out who it was, it might shed some new light. Oh, right. Completely forgot about the pissing competition.
Yes?
You seem to be following me. Nothing, just an observation.
A distinctive way of walking. If I were to walk in front of you, we would surely collide. I hope you don't take this the wrong way. It's just a collegial observation. In the 57th, we call it the Jamrock Shuffle. Officers from Jamrock's 41st Precinct tend to move a bit erratically. They say it's a scene-clearing technique developed by one of your lieutenants for gathering evidence. It's erratic, yet thorough. Prioritizes containers. I don't know. Containers contain, I guess. I'm making assumptions. We should move on.
Passing along frivolous interdepartmental stereotypes is not usually his oeuvre. He regrets bringing it up.
Me? I don't see how my life is pertinent to the investigation. That's a fair point. All right, for the good of the investigation, what do you want to know?
You're wearing glasses. Astute observation, officer.
No.
That is fair. Oh, okay.
The lieutenant nods.
What do you mean?
When you're thinking, do you ever have conversations with like your brain?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So you're saying your brain never just chimes in with advice or warnings or anything?
I can't say that it does, no. When I need to think, I just use my notebook.
The lieutenant produces his small blue notebook and idly thumbs through a few pages. That's where his conversations with himself take place. You're super lucid, yet psychedelic. You don't need office supplies to connect to your nervous system.
That's correct.
That makes him a Beano-clad, completely uncopped material, if you say so yourself.
Are they?
You could use a good, normal pair yourself.
Good. Let's change the subject.
Okay, I didn't inspect a piss, unfortunately. But what I can do is I can contact Sylvie, if the game lets me.
Inside, you see a set of steering levers, a radio microphone.
Pick up the radio again.
How may I assist you?
I need you to connect me to a civilian. Sylvie, she may have reported a murder.
Of course. What is the number, officer?
Kim Gard didn't give you Sylvie's number?
Yes, hold on. Her number is 005 1944 298.
Received. Hold on, officer.
Lieutenant Kitsuragi slowly begins to tap a little rhythm with his right foot. Quite a lot of time has passed.
Officer, I have Sylvie Malaika on the line for you.
Hey.
Yes, hello?
Hello, this is the police calling. I have some questions for you about your last days at work. Detective from the Whirling in Rags.
Oh, right. sir. What can I do for you?
You can hear resentment in her tone. She's not thrilled to be talking to you again. There is no resentment in her tone. She wants you to ask her out. No question about it.
You quit at your job at the Whirling. Why was you called the police? Have you seen my badge? Have you seen my gun?
You mean why did I leave the bar? Honestly, I'm not really comfortable discussing it with you, sir.
Aren't you comfortable in discussing it with me?
Let's just say I left because I needed to get away from someone.
Get away from whom?
You know whom.
You think you hear a sliver of accusation in her word. Don't be paranoid. She's obviously talking about someone else, not you.
All right.
Maybe, I don't know. I just know I have to take some time off right now.
Was it you who called the police?
Not me.
Do you know who made that
No,
call?
sorry. I don't. Not a lot of people have phones around here. Copper thieves take the wires.
Hey, PK something. I'm having a great time with this. Hopefully you're doing well.
People don't have the money to have the cables put in again. They use the Union's phone, or the one on the coast.
It was someone else. We'll find them sooner or later, officer. It just might take a while.
Didn't the corpse behind your workplace bother you?
Of course it bothered me. But I thought the Union already knew about the corpse.
What does this union have to do with anything?
The Union would get angry.
What do you mean by that?
You know, what the Union says goes. People listen to them and they take care of their own, which is like everyone here.
Have a good lurk. Take it easy. Weekend after all.
Garbage.
Speaking of, what's everybody planning for this weekend? Hope everybody is planning some good stuff. Maybe some good games? Is she speaking the truth? The union is law around
Legally,
here?
no. In reality, yes. Martinez is de facto policed by the dock workers' union.
Words are not necessary to feel the lieutenant's discontent for the situation.
Let's see. Tell me why exactly did you let Why exactly did you let...
I didn't want to get in trouble with the others.
Who are the others? Well, that sounds exciting, Miss Wexford. I'm probably buying and playing the new Fire Emblem. Do let me know how it is. And good luck on the reunion. I don't think I've ever been to a reunion of any of my schools. No, I have not.
Push her further. Show her the error of her ways. No, don't push her. It sounds as if she's about to cry.
But
the other
others...
people who live around here. Local people. I didn't want trouble.
Her voice is resigned and weak.
Okay, I understand.
You don't live here. You don't understand. Squealing is frowned upon here. Everything is dealt with, well, by the Union, internally. Please, I just didn't want any trouble.
I see, don't worry about it, I understand.
What else can I do for you? Yeah, go on.
Have you seen my badge?
I know who you are. You're a police officer. The law.
My badge is missing. Have you seen it anywhere?
No, I haven't, sorry.
Real policemen have uniforms too, by the way. Where's yours?
Kim doesn't have a uniform. He seems real to me.
He's in plain clothes, voluntarily. It's different from not knowing where your uniform is. There are officers who wear the signature Perseus black uniforms to the highest ranks in the RCM and end up buried in them as well. Others do it more casually. Looks like you're one of them.
Have you seen my gun?
No, not this again. Everyone saw your cool gun, detective.
I showed you my gun. When did this
Trying to
happen?
impress some people with it. Everyone was eating and...
Sounds like it's going to be bad. Do you really want to know?
And what did I do?
You were waving it around in everyone's face, begging begging them to describe it. You said it calms you, and then you started making suicide jokes. It got pretty graphic.
Some
Ooh,
poor soul
that's
tried
not
to
good.
eat his pudding while you were screaming, spit flying, imitating the mercy shot right next to him. Spat some in his food. I don't think he touched it after. People tried to back away from you, or even slip out of the door. But you screamed, I am the goddamned law, and you have to listen to me. You are all suspects in a murder investigation.
Okay, I don't know what to say.
Neither.
Yes, but what happened to my
No
gun?
idea. All I know is next you were waving around money instead, saying things like big bucks cannot lie and guns can't buy money, but money can always buy guns. It almost looked like you pawned it. But believe me, I did not ask.
You know how my... Have you seen my policeman uniform?
I never saw you in any uniform. You had your things on. The disco things.
Somewhere in a dank rental apartment, 2 police officers stand in the dark. Trash and liquor bottles cover the floor. Things are not good. One of the men, trying not to slip on old newspapers, makes his way to the window and pulls the curtains apart. Roaches scatter as the light comes in. God damn. Officer Michelle Elfboy Williams speaks to himself. His partner, Sundance Fisher, looks at the patrol uniform he's wearing, then at an identical suit frame on the wall. It's blue and covered in dust. Let's get the fuck out of here. He turns to Williams. He hasn't been here in days.
Do you know how my paperwork ended up in the trash container behind the whirling?
Well, you tried to jam it down the toilet, sir, clogging it completely. After I had unclogged the toilet and retrieved the paperwork, I threw it out in the trash, thinking you didn't need it. I am sorry about that. Anything else, Detective?
I think that's everything.
I do hope so. Please, don't call me again. Bye.
Yes, you have obviously done something to upset her at the Whirling in Rags, when she was still working there.
We got the disco, all we need is the Elysium. And it just hands you the Matt Damon movie. Wait, before you go, you're mad at me, right? Tell me, what did I do? I can't remember
I'm
anything?
not mad, it's just... You were so drunk and so emotional all the time, and then the skua thing happened. It just made me want to quit.
What skua thing?
Stuffed bird. The great skua. You threw it against the wall while screaming, fuck that bird, and laughing like a maniac.
That's a reasonable thing to do, though.
I think you said it had been giving you shit ever since you got there.
Bitch bird got what was coming to her. Oh, I fucking love this game. It's so good. Birds aren't real. Sounds like me, alright?
Seemed like you had fun doing it, though.
They're telling me I was the one who made you quit?
Yes, obviously. You were the worst client I've ever seen. And I have seen so many assholes in this place.
I have a lot to reflect upon.
I've had sailors fighting, union guys grabbing my ass, kids stealing booze. Once a guy was glued to the karaoke machine every night for 2 months. But you...
The one, I want to know what I did.
You were worse than all of them. Honestly, you were getting borderline aggressive. Even about little things like not turning down the volume at 3 a.m. I even liked one of those songs you kept listening to on repeat. No more. I hate it now. We Go On by the O.O. I can't listen to it anymore. You've turned it into a parody.
Sorry about the
The
song.
hell with that song. Then there was your room. Your project. An experiment to see how bad it can get in there. I tried to send the cleaner, but you wouldn't let me. Threatened to make me understand. I had no idea what you meant, and I don't want to know. And then screamed something about how you're a piece of shit human being, and why does anyone even let you work as a policeman? that you'd fire yourself, but you can't even
It's
do that.
not so bad. I mean, the bitch bird got what it deserved.
And then I had to deal with your toilet. The one you clogged with police documents, causing water damage downstairs in the kitchen. I won't even mention you waving your gun around, harassing customers, threatening to sing karaoke, threatening to kill yourself.
Oh, jeez. Okay, I get it. I wasn't a very good tenant.
No, you really weren't. You were simply the worst.
I was trying to show you the world of tomorrow, the great panic at the end. The worst ever wench I've ever seen. Don't you ever party?
God, I knew I shouldn't have brought it up. Just try not to call me again, and let's pretend it never happened.
You hear a sigh of relief on the other end of the radio. Wordless, the call breaks. Then, the already familiar voice.
Anything else I can help you with, officer?
I'm done with the radio for now.
Over and out.
In the cabin, you see a set of steering levers, a radio on a hook, a pull-out toolbox.
Alright, well, that sheds some light on the state of our room.
Hey, so we've been monitoring you internally, and now we know your capo type.
There are capo types?
Yes. Guess what's yours?
Sorry, Cobb? I'm sorry, I'm not sure.
Sorry, cop. The cop who's sorriest. Let's make it official then. Huge lack of enthusiasm going on in here.
And what are the other capo types? The other capo types be jealous. You know, I'm actually not sorry. Changed my mind. He should be sorry. Goddamn birds.
Oh, you know. Apocalypse, Superstellar, the advanced interesting cop, liquid shadow cop. But you're too sorry to say those things. So, here we go.
Won't the other capo types be...
What? Jealous of the sorry cop? I think they'll be fine. Don't worry. They'll be super, super fine. It'll be totally okay. Of course you are. It's okay. See if you can get something out of this, like info. Or maybe every time you say you're sorry, you get $1 million.
Game does not mess around. Oh, okay, so that also influences the... that also influences the way that skill checks are handled. Let's trace your drunken steps back home. Spend 1 skill point to unlock a new slot. Oh. That is really cool. Man, I really like this game. Let's check the journal next, though. Might take some time. Now actually inspect the body. Let's actually sniff some ammonia. Wait, I can't interact with it? Or do I?
There he still is, looking right through you with his white.
Let's see. Or do I just get a bonus for that?
There he still is, looking right through you with his white.
Active decay.
He's about to blow! Cop's gonna blow, Kuno!
The ammonia only makes it worse. The combination forces the second time, not so much. When the vomiting is done, your cheeks are wet with tears.
The ammonia didn't help at all?
Nor does the wind right now.
The weight is reassuring, like a crenel on solid fortification. Pat, pat, pat.
I've seen strong men turn themselves inside out for hours. You are facing tough odds here. Alcohol withdrawal makes it considerably harder.
Why can't I keep it in if I've been a
I've
cop
seen
my whole life?
captains puke their guts out. It never gets easier. You never get used to the smell. Every Monday is cadaver day. Throw up, investigate. Throw up, initial autopsy. Throw up, baguette. Then drive to the station. Maybe throw up on the way there if you didn't bag the thing tight enough. I think I've lost my sense of smell. Not being hungover helps too.
Do it without me, I just can't keep it down?
This is a two-man assignment because it needs 2 officers to complete. I need your help. You need to get your shit together. We should go talk to the locals. Find something else to do while the wind changes. It's pretty bad right now.
You've gained a thought. When this dialogue is over, go to your thought cabinet and internalize it for special bonuses and effects.
Give it half an hour. Get yourself together. Then come back and have another go.
Okay, so I can basically work on those for a while, I guess? What if I just unlock one of those? Wait, I can't... Can I... Why doesn't this work? Can I just have one at a time? Then why unlock them? I really admire Kim's patience when dealing with Mr. Unknown Cop here. Where does this lead? Can I actually reach said individual?
The streets will flow red once more, a great torrent rushing down Rue de Esperance. You wait and see.
The streets will not flow red with anything. Who are you?
I'm Cindy the fucking Skull. What else do you want to know? Date of birth, blood type, the last time I was tested for Hep C.
Just want to know your name. Don't use that tone with me. Just answer some questions.
Pigman, but I don't promise to answer.
Keep looking to the side. What are you looking at?
The lieutenant furrows his brow at another one of your eccentricisms.
She nods distastefully towards the woman performing maintenance on the boat dock next to the pier.
Disgust. It's difficult to tell which of the two is more present in her girlish features. The woman on the boat does not notice her steering.
That is on her. Someone's got to keep an eye on her.
Who is
Probably
she?
the Wild Pines rep. We should talk to her. She's a professional negotiator, though. I have the feeling she will be very cooperative while telling us nothing. You should take the lead. Ask her unexpected questions, you know? Do your thing. Don't be afraid to get a bit wacky. Throwing her off is our best bet.
Good idea, piggies. Run along now. Fuck her shit up good. Impound that boat while you're at it. I'd like to watch her swim back to us on.
There's a rather feverish tone to the way that characters are portrayed in this game. Just that like every portrait sort of hints at a hidden motif. Really cool. Also, astronomal. I'm gonna break this this one right open. What are your thoughts on the new OGL stuff? Let's see. What are you doing to the wall?
Can't you tell? I'm painting a beautiful mural, an aereo graffitio visible from low orbit. I haven't really started it yet. I'm waiting for the right words.
So you don't know what to write? Why are you so committed to defacing a building? I have an opinion on this. Want to hear it?
Have you ever tried your hand at graffitio? When faced with a blank wall, most people write unimaginative stuff, like pigs go home and
That is
Mona
fair,
was here.
Astronomal.
We rarely see pigs round here, though. Just union cats. And my name's not Mona, so...
She wants it to be something true and total.
Yeah?
Actually, I don't have an opinion. I lied. I love public art. Don't mind us. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks. I'm sure the inspiration will come to me now that I have an official RCM stamp of approval.
You've lessened her desire to deface the building.
I ain't no snitch, pigstein. Go forth and forage in someone else's shit. No shortage of squealers in these parts.
Actually, there is a shortage of people who talk to us in a normal, calm, informative manner.
This is true.
We weren't put on this earth to make your life pleasant, fucko. Watch your back, ungulate. You've got eyes on you.
Well, that is nice and all, but yeah. Keep doing what you're doing, I guess. Probably Pathfinder if I can find a group. Pathfinder is a great system, honestly. I've been exploring a bunch of new systems. Shadowrun, the D100 system for Call of Cthulhu. Even the Powered by the Apocalypse stuff in Root. And we got the old version of Symbaroum. And Star Trek Adventures, which I'm really looking forward to trying. It's the one good thing about having your birthday approaching is that you can just tell your group, this is what we're going to play because it's my birthday, damn it. Shadows in the water, green plants under calm surface.
A striking woman leans against the cabin top of her sailing boat, smiling as you approach. Her green raincoat glistens with droplets. A silk scarf is tied around her throat.
Star Trek Adventures is readily available. Modifius has been printing like wild. It's one of their most successful systems yet, or one of their most successful settings yet. If you find a group and play pre-written games, Curse of the Crimson Throne is probably the best AP. What is for Pathfinder? Hey, Bowmiser, how's it going? I really like the Shadowrun PC game, so I wonder how different the tabletop version is. I think Shadowrun Returns is based on 5th edition, and 6th World sort of streamlines the process a little bit. But one of the reasons why it may seem confusing initially, that's what I encountered as well, is that unlike most tabletop RPGs, Shadowrun has rules for most situations that you can come up with. So, and it works on 3 different rule sets entirely that don't really apply to every character. So you have 3 major disciplines, which is physical, which is just your standard combat and just shooting guns and stuff. You have your matrix rule sets, which is everything digital. So, like, basically when the game turns into Tron for a while. And then you have the magic system, which is a whole different ballpark. And it sort of balances itself out, like magic users can't have too much tech and stuff like that. And everything is rolled with dice pools. And so this means that, say you want to shoot a gun, you have to use the agility skill and the firearm skill. So you have a agility skill of 6 and a firearms of 9. You combine those for a total of 15. Then you grab 15 d6 and yeet them across the table. There's a lot of stuff to keep in mind. I don't think that's the case, but that's mostly... Like, sure, as a DM, there is a lot to keep in mind, but as a player, you could just basically describe whatever you're doing. And then the DM can kind of guide you through the process. In that regard, Shadowrun is utterly fantastic. Because, like, there's a lot of tools for the DM to work with. And most of the things that the player needs to think about is how many dice do I roll? And what does my character do? That's it.
Good afternoon, officers. I'm Joyce. Joyce L. Messier. I represent the board of Wild Pines, the owners of the harbour. You gentlemen must be from the RCM.
Joyce L. What does the L stand for?
Beaton, my maiden name.
What exactly is the RCM? I remember hearing it from somewhere.
I meant you, the Revachol Citizens Militia, the police.
In what sense would you be a bad DM based on what I just said? Like, don't get me wrong, it's a lot to keep track of as a DM. But because the system is so well defined, there are rules for everything. You're never really blindsided by something that make you go like, I don't know how to solve this. Like, everything has a solution in the rules as they are, and it makes it an incredibly dense system to learn. But once you learn it, you're basically free to do whatever.
Nothing, honestly. I've said it to every drunk in town, and you're the first one who's responded.
What is implied here? That you're a drunk?
Of course you're not. It was only a joke.
I take offense to
I'm glad
jokes.
to see you here.
There's no humor allowed.
I was dispatched to handle a strike, not a lynching. Anything I can do to assist the RCM in this matter, I will. Gladly.
That is good to hear, madame. My colleague will take the lead on this interview. I should let you know that he is recovering from an unusual medical episode. Very unusual. But I can assure you of his ultimate competency.
How interesting. I wish you a swift recovery. In the meanwhile, you have my full cooperation, and the full cooperation of the Wild Pines group.
It's hard to get a read on her precise disposition, but she appears helpful.
You seem rich. Can I have some money? Yes.
Is what you want to say, but it isn't that easy, is it?
What? Why
Look
not?
at that lady. Take a gander. Squint your eyes, bub.
What a nice
Why,
fabric.
yes. Tucked away under that sturdy green raincoat, almost rustic in its simplicity, a silk shirt and matching scarf around her gentle throat. while dull orange pearls.
Oh, you just had a bad DM, my bad. Sorry. I totally misread that sentence.
Scan you, full of knowledge and worry, wealth and all its possibilities.
Yeah,
Now
so?
look at you, you misery-clad simian, barely able to tie your own laces. Your armpits are
Lace, singular.
A scythe of booze precedes you. Your hair sticks to your forehead, and your underwear feels uncomfortable. You're poor as balls. You can't ask this person for money. You're too.
They nitpicked on almost every detail. And, in what sense did they do that? Like, I'm very curious to how different people run, like, Shadowrun. Well, hello, Jim. I'm Gil. I'm a goddamn working man. I'm not ashamed to shake this leech for some dough. What's this feeling? I've never felt it before.
You haven't really been in the presence of gentlefolk either, have you? What shame is there to be felt in front of these dock workers, cops, and hotel clerks, but to belittle yourself in these eyes of Odinin? Oh God, the lieutenant is here too. Do not dishonor the force.
As I was saying, if there's any way I may be of assistance, please don't hesitate to ask.
In a second. We have to keep track of our insurance, if we pay our rent, if we paid the Magic Institute of Wizards, if there wasn't enough gas. Oh, yeah, that does not sound like a fun time. That does not sound like a fun time. That is a DM that takes his job way too seriously. That is not fun. Even the book calls that out. Even the book says that is not fun. You just have to make enough money to earn the cost of living that you set for yourself. Like, you have your living on the streets, you have living in a tiny apartment, living in a luxury apartment and stuff like that. And it basically generalizes that as a lifestyle. You can just pick one of the lifestyles. If you don't have enough money, you go down the list. So it all becomes about doing the jobs that you're supposed to do, like investigating things, stealing data and stuff like that. You know, the cool stuff. That's what you need to focus on. Run shadows and stuff. Yeah, basically. Like, essentially, it's just like a streamlined thing to kind of... Sure, you can do like a dramatic thing where you arrange for an escape vehicle only for that escape vehicle to not have enough gas to get you to the destination, but that's just the start of a new scene, right? And the bullet thing, though, that is an actual thing that you need to keep track of, because you have to reload. Like, I personally wouldn't call somebody out on saying, like, oh, you only had 42 bullets and you shot 43 times. But I would be like, okay, this is your 8th shot and you only have 8 per clip. So your next major action is going to be reload if you want to attack again with this same weapon. That sounds tedious. Wait, I didn't want to do that. Why is my thing bugged out? Oh, not anymore. You're in a boat.
Why, yes I am.
Not a lot of people on boats, are there?
Of course there are. We're on an archipelago. How else are you supposed to get around?
Wait, we're on an archipelago?
Yes, we are. We are on Le Caillou.
Okay, I thought we were in Revachol.
We are. And the city of Revachol is on the island of Le Caillou.
Still, I haven't seen anyone else sail a boat around
I
here.
haven't seen anyone else drive a souped-up Capri Kenema motor carriage either.
Yeah, but to be fair, that's not me, that's my colleague.
Actually, that motor carriage has been specially issued to serve as a patrol and pursuit vehicle. It's for crossing long distances in the greater Revachol industrial harbor. It's not
I really, you know what I really appreciate? You know what I really appreciate about this? This is the first time he dropped his professional act just because the pride of his car got hurt.
Neither is this. A toy, I mean. It's a machine for crossing long distances in the Bay of Revachol, between the city and the islands.
If I get an option, but still, you're on a boat.
She's having a good time arguing against the law. Too good, perhaps.
Do you have a license for this boat?
Officer, I assure you, I'm a highly qualified pleasure craft operator.
That's not what I asked.
The crowns of her teeth are porcelain, white as the boat's hull as she smiled. Qualified pleasure craft operator. So charming. Where's the damn license?
Can I see your
I
license?
just renewed its safety inspection last month, officers. It is completely seaworthy. In fact, it's taken part in not one, but two insulindic regattas. Even finished once.
What happened the other time?
The other time, I would have finished the race were it not for an urgent work matter, much like the one I'm on now.
Still need to see your
Actually,
license.
you don't.
I'm pretty sure I
It is
do.
a little known fact among those who police that the Wayfarer Act specifically denies the RCM the authority to demand anyone's operator license.
Kim, don't deny me this pleasure of tormenting this lady for her license. Wait, exactly how little known is this fact?
I was just being polite. Even school children know the Wayfarer Act.
More like an anarchy
No
act,
need
in
to
my opinion.
politicize this. You may still ask for the lady's passport.
You need to save face if you want her respect. Demand that passport.
Oh, yeah. I am demanding that passport. Look at her
The
passport.
woman is silent, smiling while the waves lap against the hull.
I still
In your
consider
hand,
this a victory,
under the plastic,
albeit a
light
sabotaged
blue
one.
passport saying, Republic of Vespa. The coat of arms has a lion and an ostrich. Seagent.
Look at the photo
The
page.
woman, born in the year 3 in the commune of Revachol, smiles at you, face adorned with frown lines and crow's feet. The photo is recent. The name reads, Rejoice Leighton Messier.
Your name is Rejoice?
Yes, but please don't call me that.
Why?
Joyce is much more efficient.
She doesn't like it. Probably a bad memory. Mean girls at school or some ancient lover.
Rejoice, victory has been achieved. You're from
My
Vesper?
husband is. I have dual citizenship. A Vespertine is handier when traveling.
Everything appears to be in
She
order.
nods and returns the plastic bag.
I can't believe I got experience for that.
The boat? No. It is called Cordelati 19 because that's the type of sloop it is.
The word it feels strange. Such a beautiful boat deserves a proper name. A breeze ripples through the sails and tugs at your hair. Below, the sleek, fish-like shape of the hull parts the water. Beneath that, a resounding darkness. You're reminded of something. Or someone.
Cool, but your boat really needs a name.
Okay. How about Cordelati 19? Why? Because it was manufactured in Revachol East by a company called Cordelati, and its hull is 19 paces long.
How about
Why
Dolores?
Dolores?
I don't know, feels pretty.
Well, it means nothing to me. I think I'll stick with the factory name. But thank you for the suggestion.
What kind
It's
of
a
boat
pleasure
is
craft, a 19 pacer. It also happens to be rated for Category 1 racing. Though these days I mainly use it for business.
it? I honestly really appreciate that this lady has the patience to sit through this man's bullshit. How do you like
My
it?
sloop? I like it a lot. It's the eel's hips, baby.
I'm enjoying this part of the interview. It has so little to do with the murder we're investigating.
I am not sure if you're being sarcastic or not, but you just piped up because your car got insulted, so let me do my thing and I'll let you do yours, Kim.
I really do, the lieutenant thinks. Is she thrown off yet? He's looking at the woman, assessing her.
Good.
Can I have some money?
Voila, you're doing it. Really put your back into it. Yell it from the top of your lungs.
Can I have some money?
How much do you need?
It worked!
She's surprisingly nonchalant about this. Could it be that she somehow knows more about your predicament than she's letting on?
That's a good sum. Not too small, not fantastically large.
She just gives you the money.
She removes a few notes and hands them to you. The paper is cold and oily to the touch.
She just gives you the money. I was curious to how I was gonna solve that, and it turns out if you ask a lady on a boat for money, she just gives you the money.
Whoa, whoa. Did you see how easy that was? Ask her for more. Toot toot, train to Moneytown. Can you eat honor? Are you an omnivore? Give me a break.
So, I hope I didn't just bribe you, officer. It may not be technically illegal under the Emergency Act, but still.
I'm still getting my head around this whole money concept.
You're right, ma'am, that donations are permitted under the Emergency Act, unseemly as it may be, as long as they are properly logged with the precinct.
Which he most certainly will do. Now, how else can I help the RCM today, besides supplementing its salaries? What we do. I'm afraid I don't speak for Wild Pines as a whole. It's a giant undertaking.
So what do they do?
Pines' core competency is logistics. Container shipping, freight, that sort of thing. See those airships there, blinking? Those are the shipping side of things, and that is the terminal. Another subdivision deals with energy, oil and gas exploration, offshore platforms.
How much money does Wild Pines
I'm not
have?
at liberty to discuss the company balance sheet, but I can tell you that last year, the company booked more than 20 billion real in revenue.
A billion?
What is a billion?
Officer. A big one.
What is it made of?
1,000 millions. A million is made of 1,000 thousands.
Then the money I owe is so much less than
Past
that.
a certain point, numbers begin to seem imaginary, but they are quite real for the 72,000 employees who depend on Wild Pines for their paychecks.
I love this game so much.
A conglomerate the size of Wild Pines is like a shark. If it stops moving and growing, it will die. Then what becomes of those 72,000 families? It is a tremendous responsibility.
Oh.
They started as an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lomantang on behalf of the suzerain. Centuries of care, deliberation, and madness have gone into this endeavor. Vessels pass through the great unrest to re-emerge with apricots in tow. The logic of the system is totalizing. It's taken everything from its employees to build it.
Where does Wild Pines get all these billions?
As an exploration and cargo fleet conducting trade between the Samaran and Insulindian Isolas 250 years ago, when pine ships explored the South Seminese and charted Lomantang. Centuries
Oh,
of
we
care,
just did this.
deliberation, and you mean aside from being the terminal's legal owners, who are responsible for moving 8% of the world's cargo?
8% of all the cargo in the world. That's quite an endeavor. Don't keep it moving. The workers do. The company is nothing without them.
There are no minor cogs in the system. Each terminal must be accounted for, lest the entire system break. Every hiccup in such a system means thousands lose their jobs, the world over. I'm here to assure that doesn't happen.
With your help, hopefully, says her warm tone.
What can you tell me about the
Everything.
strike?
Right up to, but not including, trade secrets.
What if I want to hear about
First,
trade
you'd
secrets?
have to repeal the Emergencies Act of Trade in Aliments. That gives me the right to silence. It's quite the octopus.
I'm gonna kill that octopus.
Good luck. It's only kept in place by the vested interests of half the civilized world, including your own.
I don't remember anything about being civilized.
What the ma'am means is that the Emergencies Act and the RCM both get their authority from the coalition government.
But I am derailing us. You wanted to know about the strike. I believe the official title is Senior Labor Negotiator. In practice,
The conversations
I'm
in
a
this are
grocery
so
clerk.
seamless.
I relay the union's demands to Wild Pines and return with Wild Pines' counteroffer.
And how are the talks going?
They're not. That's the problem. The union stopped all negotiations a week ago, after that awful lynching took place. Now they won't even let me into the harbour. There's a 2-meter-20 racist behemoth blocking the gates.
Tell us more about this behemoth.
What can I say? The union employs a giant covered in tattoos. A racist giant. I guess that's part of their big tent organisation now.
Oh my god!
As I'd hoped for when I first arrived.
Not the giants.
And when did you first arrive?
I arrived 3 weeks ago. Yes, in the middle of February. The bay was still partially frozen then. I prefer to do these things on site, like the RCM.
19 years can make a hell of a difference, Wexford.
But the strike began in December.
I wasn't the original negotiator here. I took over after Mr. Gaumont hit a wall with Mr. Clare, the union boss. Mr. Clare refused to speak with Gaumont despite concessions he'd granted the union in prior negotiations.
This isn't the first time the union has gone on strike.
Heavens no. There have been 2 prior strikes. Both times the union won significant concessions, including overtime pay and a medical plan. This time their demands are more, I guess you could say, aggressive.
What
Mr.
happened to
Clare
him?
told him to, how did he put it? Fuck off, midget. Gaumont is short of stature, you see.
Not cool.
Keep in mind, this is a negotiator Mr. Clare has worked with before, and who was more than fair with him and the union.
Sounds like usual aggressive posturing.
What are their
There are
demands?
leaflets everywhere, and banners. What did they say again? Oh yes. Every worker, a member of the board.
Over aggressive commie posturing. Oh no.
Fortunately, they explained it. Every time the Wild Pines group makes a decision about anything, it needs the signature of each of the 2,200 workers in
What
its
if someone is
Martinez
sick, though?
terminal.
Or doesn't have any hands?
Just so you understand, this is but one of 22 terminals owned by Wild Pines. Essentially, not only are they kings of the company, they are also kings of the 72,000 employees of Wild Pines Group.
King's dead, long live the workers.
That may well be. It's not up to me to decide who is king, but as negotiations go, it's not a swell start.
What are you going to
I'm
do?
not sure. Naturally, I assume that was just their opening position, a hard-nosed tactic with a side of mockery. But there's been no follow-up, just the same nonsensical slogan repeated over and over. And now, people are getting lynched, I hear. Behind the whirling in rags. A disastrous situation if there ever was one.
Excuse me, from whom did you hear about this lynching?
I first heard it from the boyer at the gates. The one whose very name advertises his aversion to work. I think he said it was, "Call me mañana."
This checks out.
Everard Clare is a man of the utmost integrity. If you can say one thing about him, it's that he always puts the interests of the workers first. Of course not. Everard is fantastically corrupt. I imagine he has a thick, viscous goo where you and I have blood.
Is he
He
that
is the
bad?
most corrupt individual I have ever seen, and I deal with men like him for a living. If there is anyone more venal, more irredeemably nepotistic, then it's his twin brother,
Wait, there are two
Edgar.
of them? I just imagine our lead investigator here just being woefully surprised at the fact that somebody can have a twin.
Yes, Edgar looks exactly like his brother, except for that lazy eye. He also talks exactly like Everard does, and when one's term as foreman is up, the other takes over. It's how they circumvent the term limits, you see, with a funny little switcheroo. While in office, they've embezzled God knows how much of their workers' dues.
What about the union itself, outside the brothers?
The Debardeurs Union was once a perfectly normal institution. 20 years ago, anyway. It must
God,
not
the voice
have been
acting
easy
is so
to
good.
establish under the Emergency Act, but they did it. I can respect that. Organised labour at its best, as they say. Then something happened in the local chapter elections. The brothers Clare came and transformed it into a... how do you say?
A mob. The Debardeurs are a crime syndicate. Sad as it may be, I suspect we'll be forced to cooperate with them.
Refreshingly honest, officer. The company has tried appeasing in the past, but I'm afraid our concessions have only emboldened Everard and his brother. And your opinion, detective, if I may ask? I'm a curious and talkative person, you see. Would you say the Debardeurs Union is...
An effective advocate for local rights, Jen Leach. Preferring not to have an opinion on these
officer.
things. Something happened
I'm
in
glad
the election.
you asked. There was a woman, the previous forewoman of the Union. She disappeared.
Disappeared?
Yes. On the last day of the local chapter elections, her daughter phoned in and said she wasn't running anymore. Or coming to work. Ever. End of story.
That's extortion.
Indeed. The company suspects foul play, but there's nothing they could do. It was a union matter. The point of the presentation is, these kinds of things happen around the Clares. Watch out when you're dealing with him.
Thank you for your concern, ma'am. We'll be just fine.
Of course. How else can I help? Quite a few things, I'm afraid. The information I'm to share with you includes sensitive trade secrets. For the sake of my employer, I have to ask for your names and badge numbers.
Of course, ma'am. We should have introduced ourselves. I am Lieutenant Kitsuragi, from Precinct 57.
Oh fuck, we don't have our name.
And this is my colleague from Precinct 41. I'm afraid he doesn't have his badge at the moment. I hope mine will suffice.
How curious. Why is that, detective?
Awkwardness washes over the conversation. The woman doesn't like this turn of events.
Remember when my partner told me I'd recently suffered an unusual medical episode? My lost badge is related to it.
So, are you saying you lost your badge during the course of this episode?
I could have eaten it for all I know. I don't remember anything disrolled the city. Yes.
I can't hear you, darling. Speak up, please.
Could have eaten it.
Oh dear. I suppose this does explain some of the more curious turns in our conversation.
I wonder if this changes if you do find the badge and have a name.
As I said, ma'am, his technique may be very unconventional, but he is an officer of the RCM.
Of course, I
Also, my badge
sympathize,
was very tasty.
but I'm afraid I simply can't share anything more until I've seen that badge.
Hang on. She's a professional negotiator. She should be open to some sort of mutually beneficial arrangement.
How do I negotiate my way out of this?
She's a negotiator. Just float a favor at her. Insinuate.
There's some other way to demonstrate our law enforcement
I will
credentials.
be frank with you. If I'm going to break protocol, I need to be able to justify it to my superiors. They're going to want to see something very tangible.
I have 130 real.
You're in, but expect her to drive a hard bargain.
Reports from inside Terminal B suggest it's a hub for the local drug trade. This is an open secret in Martinez. The Union controls the terminal, so it goes to reason.
They're profiting from this trade.
The company has tried looking into this matter before, to no avail. Perhaps someone with your authority and resources might turn over the right stones. Or you can recover your badge. Though if I may be blunt with you, it sounds like that may be a lost cause.
Detective, a word in private before we continue.
Excuse us a moment. Oh.
This is not going quite as I hoped it would, Detective.
How did you hope it would go?
I was expecting you to use your unorthodox technique to keep her off balance, and not volunteer us to be her henchman.
Oh, so we're henchmen now.
This woman is running circles around us. She might have known about your misplaced badge all along, or she's simply an adept improviser. Either way, we've played straight into her hands.
He doesn't let it show, but there is a limit to how much the consequences of your unprofessional behavior can cost the investigation.
What do you propose? That we don't investigate the drug trafficking?
If there is reasonable suspicion, we must investigate. Otherwise, she could claim we are siding with the Union, or that we are on their take. We'd never hear the end of it. What I propose is, we ask her, then we investigate, briefly. But do not share the outcome of this investigation with her. We tell her it's done, and demand for her information on the lynching.
Alright. So, let's unravel a drug network. But this is where I'm going to call it for today, chat. Hopefully you all had a good time. I certainly did. It's a bit of a different vibe on the stream than I'm used to myself. Like, I'm finding myself completely mesmerized by the things that are going on screen, so I constantly forget that, like, I'm streaming. And honestly, that's pretty good. That's a huge compliment towards the game. And hopefully we'll be able to continue this on Monday. I'm honestly very excited to see where this goes, and hopefully you all are too. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. I really freaking appreciate it. And thank you all so much for supporting the channel, even though I've been absent for so long. Really freaking appreciate everybody being here. And just before we go, let me take a look at the list real quick. Ooh. Is that a Dave I see? Playing Monster Hunter? And again, thank you all so much for being here. I really freaking appreciate it. If you're new to the stream and enjoyed yourself, do consider hitting that follow button. I'll be back on Monday with more Disco Elysium, the final cut. And if you're craving some more content, there is always the VODs in the highlights section of the channel and the YouTube channel where I post different kinds of content. If you're looking for a video on Missouri Falls, maybe delve into the lore of Panzer Dragoon, there's always that. Or if you just simply enjoy hanging out with this community, you can also join the Discord. And an extra special thanks to Pure Wexford Beef and Loin for the gift subs. And Loin, seriously, thank you so much for the support, man. It's a lot. Thank you. And I'm going to send you all over to Dave, and hopefully you'll have a fantastic weekend. I'll hopefully see you Monday. Until that moment arrives, remember to stay beautiful, keep on gaming, dudes, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.